Kool TV presents the 2024 16th Region Basketball Preview Show as we get you ready for boys and girls hoops around the 16th Region. It's the 2024 16th Region Basketball Preview Show, and it tips off now. Back on the Basketball Preview Show here on Kool TV out in Ashland with the Kittens. Start first with the head coach, and we'll go through here and let them introduce themselves.
Stacey Davis, head coach, Ashland Kitten Basketball.
Brooklyn Duckweiler.
I'm Ariana Gully.
Gabby Carley.
Coach, let's talk about your season last year. What were some positives that you took away from it? What some things that you felt like maybe could have gone better that would have gotten you to that step of where you wanted to get there in that regional tournament?
Yeah, we had a great season overall. Of course, we fell short of our goal, losing to Russell in the semifinal of the region. Still kind of stinks. We're feeling it in practice, and I think it's the motivator of getting us more focused and ready for the season. Yeah, we had some ups and downs. We had a good win over GRC going in there towards the end of the season. Big win for the players. We had some girls that had to step up. We had some injuries. We had some illnesses throughout the season off and on. So we had some of the younger girls that had to step up and get a lot of experience, which I think is going to really, really help us into this next season.
That's one of the things I was going to talk about. So all of the experience, because of everything you talked about there how much is that going to pay dividends this year?
I think it'll be huge. Just getting those minutes and the good, meaningful minutes there at the end of the season, middle of the season when we're out with injuries will pay over, I think, big time, carry over into. And it has even in practice. It's carried over into there, so it'll play huge. It'll be huge for them.
Some big contributors from your team last year that are gone. You have new faces that have to fill those voids. What's that like when you look at as a coach, watching those players that have been maybe role players, now they're becoming those players that have to start on that starting five?
They are. Like I said, you look here, we've got, they've all had a lot of meaningful minutes. Ari and Gabby have started since their freshman year. Brooke could have started for any team in the area, last year. And, we lost Ella, Asia, and Jaden, who all three are playing at the next level. Ella, I think, started at Cedarville. Jaden's getting a lot of minutes. So to replace those are big, but that's what we've talked about. Their roles they go from being a role player to being our major impact players this year. And we've talked to them a lot about that, what they got to do to step up.
You look at Gabby, what she does, not only offensively, but she makes the game go defensively. And you don't get a lot of players that really sell on a defensive end like that.
It's hard, especially in today's, when you watch, it's all about, scoring the basketball. Gabby's got the quickest hands of anybody I've seen. She just gets her hands in there. She distracts the ball handlers and stuff. She comes out with rebounds sometimes that we look at each other, the coaches, and like, how'd she come out with that? So her impact, we all know offensively, she can score at all three levels and stuff, but her impact that she makes on both sides of the ball is huge.
Ari in the post this year, she's looking at having a season that one of the bigger post players that you're going to see across the entire region.
That's what we've talked to her about in this region. She should dominate this region. She's worked hard. Her footwork is so much better. Finishing at the basket is so much better. Just the confidence over from last season through the summer to now is huge. And her role this year, we've got some plays and stuff that we're running that are designed to get her the basketball. And it's not just her scoring. She's a threat to score on the block. Ari will find you. If the defense collapses on you, she's looking and she's finding the person spotted up to shoot the ball. So she brings so much more than just on the post turning and scoring.
What's Brooklyn bring to the table with, again, ability to just be an athlete on the floor, but she gives you so much on both sides of the ball?
She can, we've said it all along that, Brooklyn, when she realizes how good she can be, it's going to be scary. She's athletic, she's quick, she's strong, probably one of the strongest girls I've ever coached, that she can do so much on the floor and just push the pace of the game. Her game can I think you're going to see how much it elevates as she continues to develop her confidence in herself of what she can really, really be and really do.
Gabby, for you've always been a player that's defensive first minded, then the offense, which is a rarity in this game. But where is it that you kind of built that way that you play the game?
Honestly, probably from my dad. Just I've kind of grown up with him coaching me, and he's always told me, he's always taught me defense first, and then it was just great coming into Ashland because that's what they taught also. So I just fit in really well with that, I think.
Does Coach get on you, though, of saying you got to look to score the ball more?
Yes.
Ari, for you, hearing what Coach is talking about, your ability to be that presence in the post across the entire region there, How much does that put you kind of on that spotlight where you know you have to be that step up for this big team?
It might seem like a lot of pressure, but I know what I have to do, and I think I'm more than willing to be able to help my team. I'm just very excited about it.
Brooklyn, for you, Coach, one of the strongest players she's ever coached. I mean, that says a lot when you look at a lot of the players that she's had in her short time here, but players that's come through Ashland, that speaks a lot of volumes of what she expects out of you.
Yeah.
What do you bring to the table this year?
I'll have to step up a lot because one of our starting point guard got hurt, and I'm trying to fill her role. So.
Coach, that was the elephant in the room that I was going to address next. Obviously, everybody out there knows the injury with Kinley, and whether she comes back or not is, again, totally up to her and the medical advisor and everything. But, again, you have to approach the season that she's out until she's not.
Exactly.
And that is probably one of the biggest changes you guys have had to go through in the off season.
And it has. When you lose, it's kind of like losing a quarterback. You lose your point guard. That I've had with me since I've started, and it's been the point guard, since I've been around him watching him for the last, 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade, whatever. So, it was a big hit. But, our girls have looked at it. We played without her 8 or 9 games last year with the knee and stuff. So they know what they can do, and I think they're willing to step up. And, we're moving on. Kinley's a part of it. She's in our practices. She's encouraging. She referees when we scrimmage, all that kind of stuff. So, she's keeping there in the middle of it. Her therapy is going great. And she's, as we've always said, Kinley's built different. If anybody comes back and gets past the middle part of it's going to be her. And, we talk about it a lot and stuff. And, we not set a timeline, but she knows when she's ready, she'll be ready. And, to have her come in January, February, whenever it may be, is just an added bonus to what we've already developed through the season up to now.
Brooklyn, having her still around at practice, again, with you trying to fill that role of the point guard, how much does that help you to where if something doesn't work out, you've got somebody right there that knows exactly what it's supposed to do that you can go and talk to?
It helps me a lot, especially her being there. I just look up to her a lot, and she is always willing to help.
When Coach told you, look, you're going to have to be the starting point guard, was that something that you mentally were ready for, or was it something you kind of had to work yourself through this offseason of getting you to the point where you are right now?
I kind of work at it, but anything to help my team. So.
Gabby, I know you control the ball a lot as well, and you're a player that, if she gets in foul trouble or something, you can roll in and work for that. But being one of those players on the floor, too, that you work as an off guard, but you can go to the point, how much does it help the offense move the way you guys want to go?
I think it's really good just because, I feel like the defense is not going to know what our team's going to do this year. I could bring it up at times, Beat could bring it up at times. We're just kind of very flexible like that. So I think it really helps our team, making us really hard to guard.
And that's what we're working on a lot. Both of them, either one, bring it down. It may be Brooke running the point. It may be Brooke coming off the screen. It may be Gabby bringing it down this time. They're both so interchangeable that it's nice to have one goes down, you got 2 that can back it up. So we're blessed in that area for sure.
And it says a lot about what Kinley does. You're replacing one with 2, but it also at the same time, it makes you better on the floor with the personnel that you have available.
Yep.
Ari, what's the big thing when you look at offensively because of the change of the way things were for last year, this year, that you've had to make some adjustments for your game to be available for whoever it is that is running the point?
I do know that I have to step up a lot. I know that I will have to play a bigger role than I did last year and the year before. I know because Kinley, good, very good player. We don't have her to push the pace, but I think we can keep up just as much. But yeah, I feel like it's just going to be a lot to work towards.
The biggest thing I think you take away from Kinley being off the floor, too, you get your vocal leader off the floor. How much have you seen these 3 step up and try to fill those roles as well?
Big time. That's what we've talked about is just finding somebody on the floor that, vocal leader, but also just lead by example. And we've had that with them big time step up. Ari stepped up big time on the floor just with her energy, and the mental part for hers has been huge. And just, you find her encouraging others. Let's go. We got this and that. Just having that, and then, these 2 with the ball in their hands might not right now be as vocal. We're working, on some of that part. And not everybody has to be a vocal leader. Lead by example on the floor. And I think the combination of them and then some of the others we have is just going to be huge.
The style of play that you guys played last year, are you continuing that same style of play? Do you have to make some adjustments for what you see? And as well on the defensive side of things, can you still try to get up in teams the way that you like to try to do?
Absolutely. You know, that's what we've got. It's the same. You know, they've been in it. The ones we graduate and the ones coming up, you know, I think they still fit into our scheme of how we're going to play.
Gabby, I'll start with you and come down this way. What's the biggest thing this year as a goal for you that you feel like you have to be able to be accomplished with to make this team successful?
I really do think that like I need to look to score more and make better decisions with the ball, like not throwing it away, like just kind of, yeah.
Ari, for you?
I would probably say still being very encouraging. I tend to get in my head a lot, which I've been working towards, but I think that the good energy, it really lifts the spirits, and I think that that's going to help us a lot this year.
Brooklyn?
Scoring more, and then like she said, like getting in our head.
Coach, your schedule, again, you've got a gauntlet of a schedule, and obviously it was built one way and then rolls another, but again, you got to play the opponent that stands in front of you.
That's what I said. We'll play anybody, and we got Sacred Heart, we got GRC, we got North Laurel. We're playing twice. We're going to Queen of the Commonwealth. We've got Bullitt East. You can throw our region teams in, and Pikeville. Then we're going over Portsmouth and Fairland, who are powerhouses over there in Ohio. So and here's what I've told the girls too. There may be some bumps in the road, and a lot of people want to focus on the record, what their wins and losses are, and at the end of the day, it's our record last year was like 25-6, something to that extent, but we lost in the region semifinals. I would rather go 15-15 and play at Rep Arena. So that's what we're doing, is getting our girls prepared and ready to play in February, March.
Something I've talked to some of the coaches as well about this year. This may be one of the closer knitted region as a whole that we've seen in quite some years. When you look at that, do you agree with that? And at the same time, do you think that it's going to really up the competition level that we're going to see across the region?
I think it will. Exactly. I know people are like, Ashland Kittens or, powerhouse this year, this and that. I think there's a lot of younger talent that is in our region. I don't think you have, last year you had Shaylin, Biggs, Jasmine, Jordan, I think, which were, the three big dogs this year. I think there's a lot of big dogs in the region. There's a lot of talent, and I think it'll be a really competitive region this year.
Coach, always a pleasure. Best of luck this week.
Thank you.
Girls, good luck this season,
Thank
and
you.
look forward to seeing you guys on the court.
Thank you.
Back here on the basketball preview show on Kool TV, out at Ashland. Let's start first with Coach. I'll let him introduce himself and his three players, and we'll get into it.
I'm Ryan Bonner, head coach. This is Xander Carter, senior, Tyson Malone, senior, and Preston Hoskins, senior.
Coach, let's talk about, again, every night you go out, there's a bullseye on your back. What you've done is insurmountable through the region, but how do you approach that continued expectation year after year?
Our big emphasis, we don't talk a lot about the chase, or we don't spend a whole lot of time talking about region championship, state championship, district championship, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We talk about today. What did you do today that is going to help prepare us to win a championship? So our big emphasis is on the day-to-day process, and that kind of is what helps us stay grounded and stay focused on getting better every day.
The building blocks that has gone through this, now 6 total, how much each year do you look back on the year previous that just kind of cemented that block even more firmly into your program?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's instrumental in building culture and maintaining that consistency. But again, our big emphasis is just on the day-to-day process. And I feel like when we attack that, when we focus on right now and we focus on the present, it helps us prepare us for those big moments. But looking back, I'm very grateful for what we've been able to accomplish. But the past is the past, and now it's I'm worried about how we're going to have the best possible practice that we can today.
You look at the experiences that you've gained, and you look at your 3 seniors that you have for this year. What's the biggest thing that you've found that they have learned over all of those experiences through those past, that they're going to be those guys that's going to lead by example this season?
Well, I think the main thing is these guys understand, especially Xander and Tyson being veterans, and of course Braxton Jennings, who's not with us this evening, it requires us to go through some tough times. We've got to be able to weather some storms and manage some adversity throughout the season. And I think any championship level team, you know, I say this frequently, if you want to get something, you got to go through something. And these guys understand that, and they're very seasoned to adversity. They know how to handle it. They know how to manage it. And I think that's huge when you talk about player-led programs, is having guys that know how to manage adversity every single day.
Xander, for you, does it feel like you're a senior at Ashland?
Yeah, it's it's finally starting to set in. Just kind of hearing everybody else talk about this might be your last time doing this, especially with your team. But kind of going into the season, I'm super excited to see what we make of it. And like Coach Barner said, it's a daily grind, and he says every day we're on trial when we step on the floor. So that's kind of a good thing to see. But I'm super excited to finish out this last season here at Ashland.
All of the seasons that you guys have had, all the success, the region championships, do you look back at that as a connection of one season to the next, or do you always enter the next season as a brand new chapter for your book?
Yeah, I'd say a little bit of both. I think you know, we build foundations here at Ashland that have spurred from, you know, 6 years ago for the first regional title, and then we kind of add on to each year. And every year the team is different. Like last year to this year, our play style is completely different, and the year to that prior. So I'd say a good mix of both, as far as kind of modifying what you have, and then also keeping the main thing.
Tyson, for you, what's been the biggest adjustment you see for you this year, being one of those senior leaders?
Just probably being a leader on the court more and talking to the younger guys. I have a lot of them that will come up and ask me questions that I asked following seniors when I was a freshman. So that's just, yeah.
For you, you was kind of an energy guy last year. You could start in that starting rotation, you could come off the bench, but no matter where you are, you were that guy that kind of looked like for the energy guy. Is that kind of what your thought process for you this year again?
Yeah, I want to be the energy guy. I think that's definitely a spark for the team, and I think it'll take us places.
And he's dunking now.
Oh yeah, I've done a couple of dunks.
Now, are they legitimate dunks, or are they just rim tosses? We'll have to wait and see, right?
He got a legit one in practice yesterday.
Okay.
Or it was 2 nights ago. I can't remember, but
We'll keep a close eye out for that.
Yep.
Preston, for you, being the new guy in town, what's it been like for you trying to settle in and figure out what is Ashland basketball?
It's a lot different. It's just from going from Morgan County being like the scorer on the team to being behind Xander scoring all the time, and then Tyson and Drew and everybody here.
What's the biggest thing that you feel like that you are going to be the contributor part of the team coming into the new program?
Well, I just hope I can shoot the ball well and get people open and score the ball.
Coach, you talk about, Xander said it a minute ago, said, you know, whole different offensive system from last year to this year. What's the biggest thing you see in the difference of it?
pace of play. You know, last year we really tried to grind teams and really make it a possession by possession game. And you know, we were completely comfortable winning a ball game, you know, 45-42, because that's the way we had to win. And you know, we were very focused on half-court defense, being extremely physical, and weren't really over-consumed with our pace of play offensively. We were fine walking it up, running continuities, and those are still, and that'll still kind of be within our framework. But with this group and our depth, we are going to play. We call it fast and furious. We are just going to go, trying to score 7 seconds or less as early in the possession as possible. You know, a lot of our drills this year in the off season have we put shot clocks on all of them because we feel like offensively we get our best field goal attempts with this bunch extremely early in the possession. You know, when Xander's got the ball in the middle third of the floor and he's pushing in transition and we've got shooters out running wide, we feel like that's always going to be a good thing for us. But we're also, you know, we're tinkering with creating a lot of pace defensively, you know, creating offense with our defense. So, and that was something that we really didn't do much of last year. And again, I think, you know, at this level, year to year, you really have to adjust based on the personnel that you have. And you know, we've got great shooting, we've got great depth, and we've got excellent skill at the guard position.
Xander, I'll start with you on this question first. In a system like this, that 7 seconds, there are no bad shots. It's trying to find the correct shot at that moment. How much of a has that been for you of trying to be able to get not only your shot, but also making certain everybody else gets their opportunities on the touches as well?
Yeah, it's kind of a main thing in our program is we pass up a good shot for a great shot. So kind of just everybody's part and staying true to keeping that main thing the main thing, and keeping our motto, our culture, which is what we do every single day, day in and day out. So kind of that's the way I've always played, is kind of get my teammates involved and just kicking it to open guy. I've never been one to be selfish or I take that good shot over, say Tyson or Preston taking that great shot is wide open. So I think that's a very important thing. That's kind of how we play, and that's how we mold Ashland basketball. And then on top of it, I feel like everybody in the locker room that comes in here every day and works is all bought into it. So.
Playing in a system like a Tyson, how much do you find people trying to challenge you for that energy guy? Because a lot of energy comes with that type of an offense.
Yeah, I think it just starts with like spacing, like when we space the floor. I think we work on it every day in practice, and Coach Bonner's yelling at us to space the corners, and it's getting me a three or Preston a three or Drew trailing for a catch and shoot three, or he also gets Xander to attack downhill for a dunk.
Preston, for you, how's the pace of play been different for you transferring in from Morgan? I know you played fast at times, but again, this for 32 minutes, is that normal for you?
No, it's totally different. Morgan County, we just ran and then slowed it down when it got a little too fast and everybody was tired. And then this year we got plenty of people who come off the bench, play as fast as we can, 32 minutes up and down the floor.
Coach, is this a system that, again, like what Preston was talking about, the depth is there? Is this something you want to sustain for 32 minutes, or is it something that you feel like that you can run this pace of offense, but if you need to, you can pull it out and grind one out if you had to?
It's funny because it's a little out of my comfort zone, because I'm more of a grinded out kind of guy. I don't know if that's my football background or what, but how we played last year is how I like to coach a game. So for some of our guys, it being out of their comfort zone, it's me too. So it's been a learning process for everyone involved. But my vision for this is, we want to play fast and furious for 32 minutes because we have the depth to be able to do that. Not saying that I'm against grinding one out, because I'm sure there's going to be nights where, we might be looking at the stat sheet at halftime and we're, 3 of 22 from 3 or something crazy like that. And we got to find a way to sit down and get stops in the half court and grind it out. With our strength of schedule, I very much foresee that being the case at some point. And I think that's a good thing, because, there's hundreds of different ways to win a basketball game, but our primary focus is to play just extremely rapid, sprint, spread, and share, and like these guys are saying, trying to find the best shot for us as a team.
Guys, I'll start with you on this one as well, on the defensive side of things. You play in a high-paced offense. A lot of times the defense is wreaking havoc that leads to that offensive breakout. How much do you have to buy in on the defensive end to get the offense set that you want? Xander, I'll start with you.
I'd say just as much as buying into the offensive end. You can't just have a good offensive game and expect to win if you don't play any defense. So I think it's very hand in hand. One relies on the other, and oftentimes like those quick early buckets, 7 seconds or less, strictly spur from having a stop in the backcourt or whatever it may be. So defense directly correlates to offense, and then outside of that quick play, we can slow it down a little bit and maybe grind one out and get a stop or score when we need to.
Tyson, how's it been different this year defensively for what you guys ran last year, trying to get that quick stop and get that offense going again?
Yeah, I think we're all bought in this year like we were last year. But we have 5. I think we will have 5 guys on the floor that are bought in the defense with our stunning and good closeouts and everything.
Coach, talk about your schedule. Again, like you said, your strength of schedule, it's nobody to laugh about. It's from start to finish, you've got a grinded out thing. How much does that prepare you for that ultimate goal? Obviously, trying to win another region championship, more importantly, trying to get it back to state.
Yeah, it's instrumental, and I very much believe in strength of schedule in terms of preparing you for March. And for us, we feel like, with some of the teams that we're going to have to go through in the regular season, King of the Bluegrass, AIT, Archbishop Alter, Kettering, Great Crossing, GRC, there's not going to be too many moments or scenarios or situations that we won't have seen by the time we get to March. So it's just a great preparation tool. It's not always easy. It's tough. It creates a lot of adversity for our guys, but I don't believe in running from that. I kind of believe in running towards it and hitting it head on, because the better we are in those adverse situations, the better chance we have to win a championship.
Coach, guys, always a pleasure. Best of luck this season. Look forward to seeing you on the court.
All right, thanks,
Appreciate it.
guys.
Appreciate it.
We'll step out for a break. We come back, we'll continue our coverage on the Basketball Preview Show here on Kool TV.
Discover the convenience of Clark's Pump and Shop, your go-to local pit stop. Clark's proudly serves your neighborhood with new locations popping up just around the corner. Swing by today and indulge in a selection of your favorite snacks and drinks. We're committed to elevate your on-the-go taste experience. Clark's Pump and Shop is your premier destination for all things convenience and satisfaction. Stop by today at a Clark's Pump and Shop near you. Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Clay's Pharmacy in Catlettsburg offers more than your average pharmacy. In addition to prescriptions and vaccines, Clay's has bathroom and mobility aids and specialized diabetic care. They also accept most insurance, including Medicare and Medicaid. You can even fill your pet's prescriptions. Need to ship a package? Clay's Pharmacy in Catlettsburg has a UPS store right inside. The pharmacy is open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 to 2. Check them out on Facebook or online at clayspharmacy.com.
The Greenup County Public Library System is the best. Read the latest bestsellers in large print, regular print, or audio CDs. You can also check out movies or place a hold on a book on our website, or call one of the library locations to place a hold. There are community meeting rooms available by reservation at all locations for clubs and organizations. And be sure to check out the Jesse Stewart collection at the Greenup County branch. Check them out on Facebook and Twitter.
You know, financial security begins at home with home ownership. If you've been putting off looking for a home because you think you can't afford it, you owe it to yourself to check out Members Choice Credit Union. Members Choice Credit Union has programs for first-time home buyers and more to help put you in the home of your dreams. Call, click, or stop by Members Choice Credit Union today. That's Members Choice Credit Union, NMLS 411945, Equal Housing Lender. Other restrictions may apply.
Primary Plus is celebrating 40 years of its mission of quality, advanced, affordable health care. With over 11 primary care locations throughout the region, Primary Plus believes in our communities and our patients. The Primary Plus name means primary care plus so much more, offering extended services such as women's health, pediatrics, dental, counseling, diabetes management, infusion services, and on-site pharmacy that offers free delivery. Primary Plus believes in connecting health care for you and your family and is always welcoming new patients. Learn more at primaryplus.net.
Back on the Basketball Preview Show here on Kool TV. Out in Cannonsburg now, joined with Boyd County ladies basketball team. Let's talk with first head coach Kim Groves. Let's introduce everyone first, Coach, and then we'll get into it from there.
My name is Coach Kim Groves. This is senior Sophie Stevens. This is senior Bella Opel and sophomore Jada Ray.
Well, Coach, it's kind of odd being in this locker room and it not be Pete Fraley sitting on this side talking to me, but Coach left a legacy of what he did. And now that new chapter starts with you. What was the biggest thing that you take away from making that transition to taking over a position that's been so long held by Coach Fraley?
Just the tradition of excellence here at Boyd County, and the community support and all of those things played into my move to Boyd County, and just knowing the legacy that he's left behind and that tradition of excellence and the high, rich basketball IQ and everything that comes from Boyd County makes you want to be a part of it.
For you, being a longtime assistant there with Mandy and Russell, how much did that set you up for such a prestigious position like this, of being able to take over one of the elite programs in the 16th region?
Coach Lane helped me tremendously in being able to reach my goal of being a head coach. I feel like a lot of my role kind of led straight into this because I have had the opportunity to coach all the way from first graders all the way through to a varsity level. So coaching at all levels has helped me tremendously.
What's the one thing that you take from what Coach Fraley left and his foundation, and then you put your own spin on it to start the new chapter here at Boyd County?
Everything is definitely starting new and starting fresh this year. And the girls, we have a great start because we have these three that have all played some good varsity minutes. So leading into the year, we've got a good base to start with, but our goal is to just grow every single day. And we talk about all the time how where we want to be, it's a process, and it takes each one of us every single day to come in committed to working hard to get to that.
We'll start with the seniors. For you guys, a new head coach your senior year, how much of a change has that been for you girls to kind of adapt to what Coach Groves wants to see? Jade, I'll start with you.
It's quite different. I've known Coach Fraley my whole life since second grade, and I've played for him the whole time at a varsity level, so wasn't too open to getting a new coach, but she turned out all right.
Sophia?
Turned out good.
I can see they're going to be full of words here.
Yeah.
Jada, for you, what's the one thing that, again, being one of those senior leaders, that you have to kind of set the table for everybody around the team? What's been the biggest challenge for you so far?
We got a lot of young kids on the team. Normally young is 9th grade, but we got 7th graders that are going to be putting a lot of minutes in. So, patience with them. But
Yeah, definitely patience is key. Getting mad really easily, I've already had to talk to. So.
Now, for an underclassman, what's been the big difference for you this year?
Probably having to step up and
yeah, that's all right. The experience level, Coach. What do you see from your team? Again, a large graduating class last year that had a ton of experience that's gone. But you look at these three here; they bring back a lot of varsity time as well.
They do. They bring back a lot of varsity time, a lot of varsity experience. Jada, she's a key piece to our offense. Great scorer. She scores at all 3 levels, so it's going to be really tough for people to match up to her. Because she shoots it so well. Her mid-range is really good, and she can take it to the rack as well. Bella's quickness, her strength, she is a huge key to our defensive pressure this year. And then not only on the defensive end, she's explosive and does really well creating for other teammates and getting them involved and making plays. Sophie is a tough matchup because she's a little taller, so if someone small is guarding her, she has the capability to post them up and finish at the rim. But she also steps out and she hits the jump shot really nicely. So a lot of high expectations for the 3 of them.
Jada, for you, is that something, knowing that you've got to be able to score at all 3 levels, is that something that is a challenge for you, or is it something that it makes you feel comfortable in your game because of the way that you, like Coach was saying, you can get to all 3 levels at any point in the game?
Yeah, I've been working over the summer a lot, how to create my shot or how to get to the rack.
Bella, when you look at somebody like her that has that ability of getting to all 3 levels, how much does that bring everybody else involved in the game?
It's good to have options. Teams know how to play us, so we got to have opportunities everywhere.
So if you're down in the post, obviously that's where you're going to be working. When you've got somebody like this that likes that dribble drive first, what's that do for you underneath of obviously help side's going to come, that's going to obviously leave you open a lot of times as well?
Yeah, it does, and she's not going to make every shot, so the rebounds are definitely there for help whenever she needs it.
Confidence this year, Coach. What's the biggest thing you've seen so far from the girls, again, going through the transition with you?
Well, like we said, we just focus on growth. We talk a lot about this is a process, and like Bella had mentioned, we have some young players that's playing with us. It's not going to happen overnight. It's something that we have to understand that it's going to be day by day, each player individually, every practice, every game, committed to getting better. And we see that. I mean, if you think back a week ago, we're not the same team that we were a week ago. We're definitely not where we want to be and where we're going to be, but it's just day by day, take it one practice at a time and chip away at it and get better and better every day.
How much have you noticed the speed of the game start to slow down for some, especially some of the younger players that really getting that first taste of varsity minutes of how quickly things move?
Oh, it's definitely a change of pace for them, and so that affects everything as far as defensively, just a step quicker, and offensively as well as being able to get your shot off and to lock in and knock those shots down whenever the pace changes.
Girls, I'll start right here. First off, what's the biggest goal that you have this season, just as not only for just you but for the team?
Probably try to win the region.
Win region.
Yeah.
Win region, go to state.
There you go. Coach, for you, what's that main goal that you put on the top of that marker board this year that you want to see for this team?
Ultimately, I want to we want to win the region and give ourselves an opportunity to be in that region championship game. But as individuals and as a team collectively, I want to see our cohesion and us come together as a unit with everybody being new and pull together and lift each other up and grow as players and as people on and off the court.
Looking at your schedule, how much is that December schedule going to really tell you about what you see from this team, of being able to make those adjustments you need to see of what's going to be there when you start into January and you get into those district matchups?
All right, we have, we're starting off pretty strong. We have a scrimmage game coming up on the 23rd, and then we also have another scrimmage, get to play Mason, and jump right into our season and lead off with East Carter, Pikeville, and Johnson Central. So we'll get our test early to kind of let us know where we are and where we need to grow and things that we need to work on before we head into January and postseason play.
Coach, best of luck this season. It's been a pleasure, ladies. Congratulations on making it to this point. The fun part is just about to begin, but good luck this season as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Back on the basketball preview show here on Kool TV out in Boyd County with Boyd County Lions basketball. We'll start first with Coach A. I'll let everybody introduce themselves and we'll dive into it.
Coach A, I'm Griffin Taylor.
Jacob Spurlock.
Ethan Raritan.
Coach, to talk about last season, you guys get yourself deep in the regional tournament, come up a game obviously short, but what do you like about that foundation that you continue to build, just trying to find a way to continue that this season as you get into another campaign?
Been doing it a long time, and it just feels good to do it with the guys that you do it with. Got the core of that bunch back. We lost Jason Ellis and Alex Martin last year, two great guys, two great seniors, but these guys here have experienced it for going on 3 years now of getting not only to the regional tournament, to the regional finals. And so, you know, one thing in this business that you can't practice during the summer is that type of experience. And so you have to have it, and feel good about us being able to get that far. And these guys experienced that for 3 years now.
And it's something that you talk about, the experience. When you get guys like that, especially when you bring in the new kids from the middle school levels and into the freshman ball, it really gives you those leaders to kind of pave the way for what they need to be expecting when you guys get into those deep games in February and into March.
Yeah, that's usually huge. And you know, like like Griff and Spur, you got Kool and Rhett, those guys have, you know, they've played a ton and started for 3 years. And so it's good to have guys like that in our locker room, so when our younger guys do come in, they see how they act, they see how the culture is, they see how the work ethic is, and the commitment.
Coach, you look at the pieces of the puzzle that you have on the floor. You can score at all levels from just about any position. How much more does that allow you to kind of open up the playbook because of those abilities you have to score from down low all the way out to shooting the three?
It's huge. I mean, all these guys, you know, you work at 3 levels, you know, paint, mids, and threes, you know, and all these guys have really worked on their game, and they can do that. And so it's huge to know that, well, like in golf, you know, when you need a birdie, instead of just take a par, we've got guys that can make that special play or that special putt.
Griff, for you, a guy who you really control the offense. You work with the basketball at top, but you have that ability on that dribble drive. For you, being a facilitator, how much does that get you going of getting everybody else involved in the game first?
Yeah, that's my job, just, you know, getting people involved and just, you know, making sure this guy gets going. If he gets going, you know, we're good.
Spur, for you, you know people are going to be doubling over. They're going to be helping. But when you still get past that, how much more does that help break down the defense to get guys like Ethan, like Griff, Rhett, other people going that you can facilitate the ball back to pull that defense off?
Yeah, so, you know, I'll be getting double teams, face guarded, but the kick and drives are going to be there a lot. So we'll be flying around like parrots, and so we could, you know, get those defensive stops and that type of thing.
For you, how much does the patient have to be there to, because like you said, you're going to see double teams, you're going to get somebody that's going to face guard you, of allowing the game to come to you, not really forcing the issue?
Yeah, you know, just got to play with pace. Coach A mentions it all the time. You can't be 100 miles per hour all the time. So you got to learn how to, you know, slow the game down yourself and not get too fast with it.
Ethan, for you, being a guy that is going to take on that new role, what's the biggest challenge that you have this season?
I think that stepping up on defense, I think, will really, because like never come off the bench, I want to really
bring energy, and give that spark that we need to put us to the next level.
Looking at guys that like Jason Ellis, how much do you emulate of what he did on the floor? Again, he was a high energy guy. He was always a workhorse there inside the paint. How much do you kind of emulate what he did so much?
Yeah, he was our spark plug. He really got us going. You know, in the locker room at halftime, if we weren't playing great, he'd hold us accountable. He's a great leader, and so I think that we all try to emulate him and really fill those shoes. You know, Jackson, he's our new big. We all really like him, and I think that he'll be able to fill those shoes really well.
Coach, you look at this team, and it's something that the way that you guys like to play, you certainly are probably not going to have to put any coffee in the water jugs to get them going any night out.
You shouldn't have to. You know, like I said, this bunch here, they're very committed to each other. They have been for a very, very long time, and so it's good from a coaching standpoint to know that night in, night out, when you've got 6 or 7 that can play at this level, the 2 or 3 will be ready and get it going so that the other ones will join in.
Griff, for you, what's the next step for you? And again, being now that upperclassman guy that's really been there, done that, how much do you allow that playbook to really develop now because of all the things that you can see out on the floor?
Yeah, just same thing, really. Just, do my job, just take the shots that the defense gives me, really. So, if they choose to leave me open for these other guys, that's fine. I'll shoot the ball more, but my job is to keep facilitating, get these guys open, and get the shots where they need to be taken.
Griff, how much do you rely on Spur and Red and all those other guys that get you to be able to get in that point to where sometimes you have to look downhill and say, hey, I've got to go score the basketball?
I've relied on these guys my whole life, played with them since I was young, but like I said, if they leave me open, I'll have to do what I have to do, drive downhill, and if they collapse the defense, I got to kick out anytime.
Spurlock, one of the things that you guys are big on is transition, offense to defense, defense to offense. How much do you guys look at that ability to score from the defensive side because of how quickly you make that transition?
Yeah, so we're really playing fast this year. That's what we're really focusing on, getting hot in the passing lanes, getting a lot of steals, deflections, and as soon as the ball comes out, we're trying to go. That's just how we're trying to play this year because we're at our best when we play fast like that.
Ethan, for you, what's the biggest challenge that you've had to deal with seeing, that pace of play of trying to get downhill, not being like a big panda bear, trying to lag back, trying to get downhill and stay caught up with everybody that's playing?
I think that, like Jacob said, we like to play fast, we like to get going, and so defense leads the offense. So we, get up and guard them, get out in transition. That's whenever we play our best basketball, and that's when we really can run it up.
Coach, you look at your group and you've got some old guys, you've got some new guys, but does it feel like when you pull that play sheet out and you start looking down through it, it's kind of like it being in a sushi bar. You look over and you've got a bunch of stuff that's pretty simple and you've got some really fantastic stuff that you can dig deep into. Do you have those options this early on in the year?
We've always said that, the seniors are the leaders, seniors are the core, and we're blessed this year. We haven't had this in a while, but we have 5 seniors, and all 5 of them can play. We got couple new ones. Jackson Childers is in. He's a 6'8" post kid that can shoot the ball from the perimeter. We have Marcus Brumfield that's back out, very strong, can guard it in the post, and once again he can pop and hit a 3. Red has always been our athletic guy that goes and gets rebounds that we need, a lot of energy. Kool has proven that night in and night out he's going to guard the stink out of it, and he can fill it up. And then Griff has just continued to get better at the point. And so whenever you have 5 that can lead like that, and then you throw in Spur, which seems like he's been here since 2nd grade, it just really adds to it. Ethan and Clark Huff had really, really good summers. And so when you start talking about 7 or 8 guys that you feel like that can compete and get it done on this level, it makes it easier for us as coaches for what we want to do. And we can go into the old bag of tricks and some stuff that was really good for us, but also it allows us to be innovative and do some new stuff because in our region I feel like we have some really good coaches, and so you'd better be able to coach and you better be able to make adjustments. And so it's good when you have veteran guys like that know the game and understand the game. That way you can revert back or you can add.
you look at your schedule, the way things set up, what do you like about the challenges that you see with your schedule? You and I were talking before we came on air, and you kind of laughed, and I don't think our preseason is going to test us very much at all, and kind of a tongue-in-cheek as you say that. But what do you like about your schedule and the challenges it faces?
It's really good because we'll start out our first preseason scrimmage against preseason number 1, Great Crossing. The following week you go and play Adair County, which won a game in Sweet 16, got the bulk of everybody back. Then you have the Round Ball Classic. We're going to bring in a Lanham Christian out of Maryland, they won the private school league in Maryland last year. You got Ashland early, and then we go to Knoxville and play Adelphia and Buckhorn out of Alabama. The following weekend you go to the Alpha Tournament in Kingsport. Then we get to enjoy Christmas for a couple of days, and then you go to the Lex Catholic Tournament. So we're going to know where we stand and what we need to do, and kids are going to be really challenged right out of the gate, and especially in December.
Griff, for you this season, what's the one thing you put at the top of that list that you want to accomplish, not only just as an individual but also as this team?
Well, we're getting where we want to get. It's just that one game that we're always struggling with, and I think we're a lot more physically prepared than we were, the previous years, and I feel like what we've done this summer is put a lot more juice, and we got a little bit of an edge to us this year, and I feel like it's just going to help for this year.
Spurred for you?
Yeah. I think we've hit the weight room hard this year, and a lot of our guys have been to the region. We've played a lot of games in Moorhead, so we don't have no reason not to win it all this year.
Ethan, for you?
I think, Coach I mentioned earlier, we got a lot more experience on older guys. I think that'll help us, all played, region games, region championships, and haven't been able to get there, but I think that we really got a good shot. I like it.
All right. Well, guys, we greatly appreciate the time. Best of luck this year. Coach A, always a pleasure. We'll see you down the road.
Same to you, James. Thank you.
We'll step out for a break. When we come back, we'll continue our coverage. It's the Basketball Preview Show on Kool TV.
At Papa John's, get an extra large New York style one-topping pizza for only $10.99. Hand stretch, mouth watering, get that ooey gooey cheese. 8 extra large slices, hold it and fold it. It's an extra large, bigger is better, more for your money New York style pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza, better get you some cheesy, saucy, tossy Papa John's. Get an extra large New York style one-topping pizza for only $10.99. Papa John's.
At First National Bank, we strive to make every person that walks through our doors feel like family. Because to us, you are. For over 120 years, we have lived in and served the families of Kentucky with genuine care through the good times and the bad. Come and see the difference banking with family can truly make for you at any of our 7 locations, or visit our website at www.fnbgrayson.com. First National Bank, member FDIC.
If you can picture yourself in a better job and a better life, there are thousands of openings in Kentucky right now. And with the Work Ready Kentucky Scholarship, you can prepare for many of them tuition free. Good at Ashland Community and Technical College. This scholarship offers 100% free tuition for classes that can prepare you for a great job in healthcare, advanced manufacturing, and more in as little as 13 weeks. Get started today at workreadykentucky.com.
Looking for the latest archery gear? Check out Border Sporting Goods for your best selection of Hoyt and Matthews bows, as well as 10-point crossbows with a full selection of accessories for all your hunting needs. Borders also offers a full selection of shotguns and rifles with plenty of ammunition and reload supplies, along with a full selection of benchmark and case knives. Borders is your headquarters for the largest selection of Liberty gun safes in the area, no matter how big or small you need to keep your firearms safe. Before your next hunting excursion, stop by and stock up at Border Sporting Goods, US 60 West in Ashland. Back on the Basketball Preview Show here on Kool TV, out in Grayson now, talking some East Carter Lady Raiders basketball. Coach with his team here. I'll let you introduce yourselves, and then we'll go through from there.
Yeah, Matt Clark.
Brindley Walker. Kinsley Rutledge.
Savannah Adams.
Coach, let's talk about your season last year. A really positive step forward, I think, for your program. What are some things that you really liked about what you did from your program, and those things that you're going to use those foundation building blocks to build this year?
Well, one thing that we talked about, I took over 2 years ago, and it was inheriting a 3-win team where we were really trying to build numbers, and we were just trying to get back to playing good fundamental basketball. That we were able to, my first year, grow to 10 wins, and then last year to 16. And I'm hoping we can extend on that this year and show more growth and continue to build on that.
What's the thing that you've seen in the offseason from your team that has allowed allowed you to feel like that you're ready to take that next step forward?
Well, just the pace that we're able to play and the depth that we have, the competitiveness that we have at practice, we're really able to go 10 or 11 girls and really mix in different groups and look at different things. And I think we could be successful in a lot of different ways now, as opposed to in the past that we had to just try to fit into a certain box. We can do many things and expand our rows and really just go out and play and try to take advantage of other teams' weaknesses.
You talk about having 10 players available defensively. That certainly helps you because that allows you to continue to roll fresh bodies out to the other team.
Yeah, and we can play fast. I mean, we got a group to where we can play man-to-man full court. We could go to a diamond. We could play a half-court trap. We can do all kinds of things, but offensively, we're really able to transition out, and I think we're going to put a lot of points on the board.
Let's talk about the ladies that you have here with us. Obviously, Savannah and Kinsley last year really led you a lot of what they do. What are the aspects that they bring to the game that you really rely on them to do even more this year?
Well, even more this year is that leadership. They're going to be able to put girls where they need to be. When you're younger and you're trying to develop, it's hard to look at somebody and tell them, hey, you need to get there. Just when we're scrimmaging and everything, they'll pull the ball back out. They'll get people where we need to go, and we're just so much more efficient because of their leadership.
A player next to you, a familiar name in the 16th region, wearing a different color this year, but a good addition to your team coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. We're thrilled to have her. I can't wait to get to watch her grow with Kinsley and Savannah. And we got a couple of other girls in her grade, or just a grade above, that they're really going to get to play with for a couple of years, and it's really going to make a big difference with our program.
Savannah, for you last season, what was the biggest thing that you wanted to try to accomplish as you kind of got your feet set in stone of being that leader for the team and trying to get this team, like Coach said, three wins, 10 wins, and then trying to get it up into that 20-win season this year?
I just want to try the lower classmen. I think we just need to boost their confidence and get them involved because they're going to have a lot to do when they grow up and get further years up. I just think that when you get them prepared, it'll be better off and play with us. And now we've got even more players this year, which will help us even more.
How much has the depth helped you guys, especially in practice?
We get to play against a lot of new people and run the courts and sub, and I just think it'll get us more prepared for the season. We've got a lot of more improved players, which help us practice on better people and get better and just play with each other more, which will help us in the season, I think.
Kinsley, for you guys last year, having the ability to have multiple players that can score the basketball on the floor, how much did you feel like that opened you up, especially down on the post?
Definitely moving the ball opens it up a lot, or getting a look in the post and kicking it back out helps a lot.
The addition to the new players on the team this year, how much have you noticed that really intensifying practice, making it to where you're getting more game-like reps than just going through kind of walk-through practices?
It definitely helps a lot. Having the younger girls, especially the ones that are better, pushes you a lot more than what we've been pushed in the past.
Brindley, for you, making the transition over to East Carter this year, what do you bring to the table this year that you're really excited to be a part of this group?
I think that with Jossie coming over here and me, we'll add to hopefully win some more games and have a good season.
Savannah, what's the biggest thing that you, as being the primary ball handler for this team, what's the biggest thing that you kind of challenge yourself in the offseason that you wanted to make that next step forward with your game?
Honestly, focus more on shooting because with Brindley coming in, she's a great ball handler, and Jossie. I still work my ball handling, but I would more likely want to be like a shooting guard. I'm comfortable with being a point guard, but like I said, Brindley's a great point guard. Hopefully she can fill that spot and push me more to the shooting guard position.
How much does that help you of having that ability to be able to handle the basketball, but know that you're more in that shooting guard role, but if time happens to go to where she gets in foul trouble or something like that, you can jump right in that position, the offense continues to move?
Makes me feel good because, always wanted to have a good point guard, and like I said, me, Brindley, even if Brindley or Jossie got hurt, I know I can fill that position, and we have a bunch of shooting guard positions on the team, so I think we're all set.
Coach, when you talk about the depth, and Savannah brings up a great point there, you get to a lot of players that are positionless players. You can just grab the ball and go. How much does that make you guys go the speed that you want to play this year?
Yeah, it's tremendous. In practice, that's all we do is talk about transitioning to score. Then we'll worry about an offense. Anybody with our first 7 or 8 girls can get the ball and go. We really are working on pushing the ball up. We can't run with our head down. We can't do those things because at any point, these are strong girls that can throw the ball from rebound three-quarter court, and we're laying it in 3 and 4 seconds. So practice has really been fun watching them grow throughout a transition offense.
Kinsley, for you being one of those main rebounders on this team, how important is it to find that outlet and get it down the floor quickly, like Coach said, so you can get in that transition offense that he wants to play?
Very important. It looks a lot better when you transition than slowly dribbling it back down.
Is the speed of the game, does it kind of seem like it's starting to slow down even though you guys are starting to play faster?
Yeah, kind of, a little bit.
Brindley, for you, the speed of the game that coach is wanting to play, does that seem comfortable for you? Is that something you're accustomed to be able to fit in whenever you play the first game?
Yeah, I like playing faster, not slowing it down. So.
Defensively, Coach, what do you look at the abilities to do this year? Do you want to get up in people and man-to-man?
Yeah.
Do you want to junk it up because you have the ability to do so, or just kind of a balance of both?
I think probably 95% of the time we're going to look to just play man, whether that be full court or half court. You know, when there's certain situations, foul trouble, injuries, that type of deal, we'll look at other things. But for the most part, we're going to play man, or we're going to go straight to like a diamond press. But it's going to be a fast-paced, up-tempo type environment.
Savannah, when you talk about that diamond press and that up-tempo communication, how key has that been for you guys, especially in the off-season?
Very. I mean, without communication, a press can go downhill really fast. So I think we're doing better with communication, but we still got to pick it up a little bit. But it's definitely key to a successful press.
How improved have you seen the communication skills from your team, especially over the last couple seasons?
Well, it's big, but this year it's going to be a little bit slower just because we do have some new pieces. Like she had mentioned, you know, Brindley's coming in, and then we got Jossie from West, a freshman. She's going to be a really good player for us. And it's going to take some time for them to get it, but for where we're at, to where we were 2 or 3 years ago at this time of the year, I mean, we're head and shoulders above where we have been.
Let's talk about your schedule. What do you like about how your schedule sets up? This, again, obviously that month of December, a lot of different games, different little venues before you get into district play starting in January.
Yeah, I mean, December's a tough one. We open up right off the get-go with the EKC, so you get that tournament atmosphere right off the get-go. And I think if we come and we do what we can and we play to our ability, there's no reason that we can't compete for that thing. And then we jump right into district play with Morgan on the 14th of December. So.
Getting a district game before the Christmas holiday, do you like that? Or some teams you always say, like, I want to see where I am by the time I get to January. What do you like about that opportunity?
Well, I think it gauges where we're at right away, and then it can kind of see our growth. If we come out in December, we take care of business, but we don't in January, you know, what did that really do? But if we can come out and take care of business in December, take care of business in January, I think it really puts us in the driver's seat as far as district seeding, and then getting ourselves a chance to go to Moorhead and play.
Savannah, for you this season, what's the main goal that you want to see for this team?
I mean, obviously a lot of wins. I think we're really stacked this year, and we have a great team, variety of players, a variety of positions. I think mostly work as a team and get everybody involved because, I mean, it's better to play as a team in every sport. So I think just play as a team and become close to each other and just be a really healthy team.
Kinsley, for you?
I want to see us go to region, win districts.
Brindley?
I'd say win districts and just play together, be a team.
Coach, you talk about, again, the way the wins have acclimated and gone north. How big would get to 20 wins or more this year be for this program?
No, it'd be huge. You know, talking about where we were 3 years ago, and then you can come and say you have a 17-win difference over a course of 3 years, and we're able to build our numbers. We're to the point in the program where we got 25-plus girls, which is huge considering when I took over we were missing classes. Last year we didn't even have a senior on the team, so now we finally have got that to where we've got 4 and 5 a class, and really with our dynamic we have a chance. You know, any of these 3 girls here on any given night can go out and score 20. Kinsley doesn't have to score every night for us to win. Savannah doesn't have to do it every night. Brindley doesn't have to do it every night. At any given moment, any of those girls can pick each other up and really help us, and I think that's going to be tremendously help us be successful.
I think one of the things about the region this year, and I think a lot of people would say this is probably one of the most open regions we've seen in the 16th in quite some time. How exciting is that as a team, knowing that you're at where you feel like maybe at the peak of the mountain of where you're trying to get to in an opportunity to go get something big?
Yeah, I mean, I think Ashland's probably your favorite, and then after that, I think you got 4 or 5 teams that are going to be battling for that 2nd through 4th, 5th spot on any given night. You know, whoever comes out and plays defense, shoots, rebounds, does those little things is probably going to come out a winner. I really think that you're between 2 through 6 or 7. I think it's anybody's game at this point.
Coach, ladies, always a pleasure. Best of luck this season. We're looking forward to covering you guys this year.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Back on the basketball preview show out in Grayson with East Carter basketball. Cole Brammer and Quentin Johnson here. With Coach, let's talk first. What a season you guys had last year. And again, since you've taken over and just the growth that you've seen within your program, how big has it been?
It has. It's been extremely big for us and, for me personally, but to see our teams continue to grow and our players especially to, kind of build the culture that they've built here over the last 3 seasons and be, have success like we've had. It's a good thing, and it's also nice as a coach to see it kind of trickle down to these younger groups and some of these younger kids that are getting ready to get their opportunity. It's good to see that they've kind of understood, how things work and how we operate.
For you, a guy that you occupied one of these lockers here at some point. Yeah. How fitting is that for you to you were in one of these lockers, now you're the guy that's over this locker room. That's got to come full circle.
Yeah, it is. It really has. And I think it's even happened more so over time, because when it first happens and stuff like that, you get just all kinds of emotions and everything happen there at first. And even throughout your first year, everything happens so quick and, just bang, bang, bang. And before you realize it, next thing you know, you're starting year 4. And I was telling somebody that the other day, this is the time of year when you're out in public, the only question you're going to get asked is, how are we going to be this year? How are we going to be? And I tell everybody the same thing. I'm excited, but it's crazy for me to be able to say, we're going into year 4 already.
Yeah, when you say that, it doesn't seem. I remember year 1. It doesn't seem like it's year 4. But for you now going into year 4, how much different has things become for you after that first year when everything's just kind of felt like your head was on fire, everything was going 100 miles an hour direction?
Well, you just get, you get so much more comfortable with the daily process and the process of your season. Your preseason conditioning, then October 15th hits and you're starting that process, and then you roll into, our preseason scrimmages, and then first game, EKC tournament, all that kind of stuff just happens so quick that it catches you off guard. And I think as a coach now getting more settled in and more comfortable with what we do, by this time we kind of have a structure of how we're going to approach preseason and how we hit the ground running. It's a lot more comfortable nowadays.
Quinn, for you, when you look at your time here with the program and now being one of those upperclassmen, what's the biggest thing that you've noticed as you have grown older with the program?
Just trying to mimic what those older guys have done in years previous. Just trying to keep that culture the same, and just pass that on to the younger guys. Just trying to keep it, how I was raised up in the program.
You look at the way things as it was in year 1, and now here you are, one of those old guys. Just going through practice, showing the younger guys what it's supposed to be, what the season's going to look like, and what Coach talked about. You go right out your first game of the season, you're playing the EKC tournament, then you're in district tournament, next thing you know, you're in the district tournament. How much do you have to kind of settle in yourself and help those younger guys understand the frantic start of the season, but it's a long finish at the end?
Just try and stay mentally locked in throughout the season. It's a pace. It's not all running during their first few months. It's about what you do down there in February during district time. That's what matters most.
Coach, you look at your schedule, and again, we always say the 62nd is going to 62nd every year. One of the most difficult districts in the state, between the 62nd and 63rd every year. But last year, just every night, you never knew which team you were going to be dealing with, because at every point of the season, there was always somebody about ready to pop somebody off.
Yeah, absolutely. And you and I've talked, for years now. That's part of the 62nd district, and to me, that's what makes it the most fun. That's what's and Quentin says that we talk about it all the time within our program. That last week of February is what we're playing for. That's kind of our focus, and we've been fortunate to have some success in there during that week, but we're still hungry to keep on going and keep getting where we want to get to.
You look at the district this year, and again, you had a very large senior class last year. What do you build from that with the foundation that those guys left, that you feel like that you can pick the pieces up and continue moving forward?
Well, we did, and we've, like I said, we've been there and we've had some guys get in that moment. And I think the thing that I've noticed already, with our group is we have some guys who kind of got a taste of that last year, but they didn't get the full thing. And I think we have a group that is very hungry to put themselves in that position and, have their own success in that night.
Quentin, are you one of those guys, you kind of have that taste of what last year was, and you want to continue that moving forward and take it to the next level?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely one of those things for sure. Hopefully win a district chip this year. That's our main goal. After being runner-up for a few years in a row, we want it now. So.
Cole, when you look at your team, what's the one thing you see this year that you feel like that you're going to be really good at doing, and what's some stuff that you still feel like we got some work to do to get to that point?
Well, I think the thing that I'm most comfortable with right now, we're early into preseason, but the thing that I'm comfortable with is we have a lot of guys who've played a lot of basketball, and that's really at all levels of life. I'm not talking about just varsity basketball, but we have some guys who have been playing basketball since a very young age and know the game very well, know what's expected of them, and I feel like if we get in the position, our guys are going to be able to execute and do things like that. So I'm comfortable with, with where we're at in that regard. I want to get the rest of the group on board, whatever our rotation ends up being, whether we're 7 to 9, 7 to 10, I don't know. We've got some younger guys that have just as much opportunity to play. So I want to see our guys, the way we approach practice every day, and Quentin talked about it there, we've been already going at it 5-6 days a week, and at that point, you've got to approach practice the same every single day. We're not walking to the next drill, we're going to jog and get to the next drill. It has to be something that we have consistency with in practice, and that's going to carry over to games. So that's something I want to see now is, I know we can be that, and I've seen us be that, but I want us to do it more often and be more consistent.
Something you talk about, the people that's in your program, the youth. You've got one of the best youth programs in this area, bar none. And it's something that has been established for when you were a kid, when I was a kid. I mean, you knew Coach Baker started, MTXE, it was out there, and it lives today.
Yeah, it does, and that's great to see because, we get to the point there late in January where we start our youth camp up, and our players interact with that every week. And I'm sure Quentin can tell you the same thing. We come up here on a Saturday morning for 4 hours, and our youth is in here, and when they come in the building, you don't have to ask anybody any questions. It shows right away, like, all right, this means a lot to these kids, and it means a lot to our program to have those kids in here, and it's really cool and really neat to see. And I'm sure Quentin would agree with this, but it's we're at the point now to where you see kids go through it, and then the next thing you know, it's their opportunity, and they're getting to be the role model to these younger kids that come in here each week.
Quinn, for you, how special is that an opportunity to work with the youth of kids, and then as Coach said, you look back and you see some of those kids that have come through that program. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, they're sitting in one of these lockers.
Yeah, I was one of those kids. I came up here. I did my time in MTXE when I was a kid, and now I'm up here and I'm teaching these younger kids the drills, same drills that I used to go through. So it's a special moment.
What's something this year for you personally that you want to accomplish, and as well as something as a team that you want to see accomplished as well?
Well, obviously district chip. That's what our main goal as a team, but I want to grow in the scoring and rebounding aspect. I think I did a decent job being able to be that guy to go out there and hustle every play. I think I did a decent job, but I want to grow as a player.
Coach, the speed of the game this year, what do you see yourself? Are you a team that you feel like that you can really push the pace, or is this a team that we're going to slow things down and play it in the half court?
You know what? You and I have had that conversation. I want to be multiple, and I'll say that, until I'm blue in the face. I want to be multiple. I want to be able to play both ways because I feel like, later in the year, if you want to be successful in the bigger games, you've got to play both ways. But this is a group that I really feel can go out and play with a quick pace and get the ball up the floor and advance it up the floor. And I'm sure you probably don't have to ask, but we're going to press on top of that too. We're definitely
that's a given.
Yeah, we're going to press and push the tempo and try to speed the game up.
Good deal. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck this season. Look forward to it.
Yeah, thank you, James. Appreciate it, man.
We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll continue our coverage. It's the basketball preview show after this on Kool TV.
Hello, everyone. I am Rick Clark. Let me introduce you to Carlisle, Annabelle, and Zach.
And as you can tell by these commercials, this family has a lot of fun.
We have a great team here at Clark's.
And we would love for you to join our family.
Whether you're a young person looking for your first job, someone who's looking for extra work, or maybe you're ready to start a career at a growing company, we want to talk to you. To find out more and start the process, go to myclarkspns.com.
Clark's Pump and Shop.
Return.
Refresh.
Refuel.
Clay's Pharmacy in Catlettsburg offers more than your average pharmacy. In addition to prescriptions and vaccines, Clay's has bathroom and mobility aids and specialized diabetic care. They also accept most insurance, including Medicare and Medicaid. You can even fill your pet's prescriptions. Need to ship a package? Clay's Pharmacy in Catlettsburg has a UPS store right inside. The pharmacy is open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 to 2. Check them out on Facebook or online at clayspharmacy.com.
The Greenup County Public Library System is the best. Read the latest bestsellers in large print, regular print, or audio CDs. You can also check out movies or place a hold on a book on our website or call one of the library locations to place a hold. There are community meeting rooms available by reservation at all locations for clubs and organizations. And be sure to check out the Jesse Stewart collection at the Greenup County branch. Check them out on Facebook and Twitter.
You know, financial security begins at home with home ownership. If you've been putting off looking for a home because you think you can't afford it, you owe it to yourself to check out Members Choice Credit Union. Members Choice Credit Union has programs for first-time home buyers and more to help put you in the home of your dreams. Call, click, or stop by Members Choice Credit Union today. That's Members Choice Credit Union, NMLS 411945, Equal Housing Lender. Other restrictions may apply.
Primary Plus is celebrating 40 years of its mission of quality, advanced, affordable health care. With over 11 primary care locations throughout the region, Primary Plus believes in our communities and our patients. The Primary Plus name means primary care plus so much more. Offering extended services such as women's health, pediatrics, dental, counseling, diabetes management, infusion services, and on-site pharmacy that offers free delivery. Primary Plus believes in connecting health care for you and your family and is always welcoming new patients. Learn more at primaryplus.net.
Back on the basketball preview show out here in Lloyd at Greenup County High School. Joined with Coach Allison and his team. Let's talk, Coach. Introduce your players and we'll get going from there.
Hey, we got Mr. Gavin Harrington, Bryson Chandler, Jason Gammon, and Brad. And we got my main man Bradley, the man animal here right here.
Let's talk about last season, Coach. A heck of a run for you guys. 63rd District Championship on your home floor. How big was that?
It was huge. It was huge in regards to the school has never, with this student body that we're a part of, never been able to cut the nets down and have that type of atmosphere. So I got a big response from the community saying thank you. You know, it was a great season, a good ride.
For you, having an opportunity to do that on your home floor, kind of building your foundation here, for you, how big was that?
It was huge. You know, it was my first one. I've been an assistant coach for years at different programs and won, but this time I was able to have my own spin on it, and it was beautiful. Especially from the first year, we had that heartbreak loss, and it was really, really tasteful the next year when we accomplished our goal.
Getting a chance to take a team to Moorhead and get on that big floor, playing in a regional tournament, how big is that for the program?
It's huge, especially for the younger ones coming up. It goes to show that, that Greenup County is doing something. And you don't got to transfer here and there, you know what I mean? We got a program here for you. And these boys right here have been a great help with the younger ones and bringing them up and inviting them in here and letting them see this atmosphere.
You lost some really good players from last season, but you've got something, like you said, these guys here, they bring a lot to the table. Tell me a little bit about each one of what they're going to bring to the table this year.
Well, we start with Bradley Atkins. Defense is it for me. He's the anchor, and he was the anchor last year. And these guys feed off of his energy. And then we have Bryson Chandler, who on the offensive end, along with Casey Gammon, they led us in scoring, the last part of the season. And then we had Gavin Harrington, who come off the bench, who was an integral part and put some good minutes in. It's going to be a big game changer this season.
Talk about Casey, what he does from the point guard position. He gets you in everything you want to do. He gives you those opportunities to get these other guys available.
Yeah, and I had to get on him, especially after Carson had left, and I'm like, man, this is your ship. You need to lead these guys. And it took him a second, but he filled into the role, and now he's just comfortable with it.
Casey, for you, what's been the biggest thing of you having to step into that leadership role from the point guard position and trying to make that next step forward in your game?
Definitely handling the ball. Being a better leader on the court is the main thing. Just getting all the guys in the right spots and just being a leader on the team.
You talk about Bradley, he really sets the tone for you defensively, and he's that kind of that bulldog that you want to see go out there every single day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And he does it in practice. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, what you see in the game, he tones it down in the game because we have officials. He's on them in practice, and it makes them tougher. And I give him a huge credit to how intense our defense is, especially in that postseason.
Bradley, for you, setting the tone defensively, how big is that for you? And for getting your game going?
It's a big thing because it helps the rest of the team come out and be ready to go instead of and it starts on defense, and offense comes as the game goes on. The defense sets the tone for the whole game.
Coach, you go to that end of that side, they just keep getting taller and taller and taller.
Hey,
but
the big boy, the hogs down here, the
talk
horses.
about the guy there to your right first. I mean, he's a guy that he can play above the rim. He really is going to be the guy you're going to have to lean on a lot to get on the glass and lead you on the rebound.
Yeah, and I would say the most improved. And you're going to see a different Bryson Chandler this year. So he's even elevated to a different type of player this year. So you're going to see last year and you're going to see the new version this year, which he's filling in that role with, us losing Eli, so he got a double role and he's been filling it in perfect so far.
Bryson, having to fill the roles of like what Eli did for you, seeing what he can do, but now what you have to do, how big's that been?
It's nice having like a leader to show me what I was doing, but I feel like I got to be better than him because, I mean, it worked some games it didn't, and I got to be more of a team player because we can't just rely on one person. We got to rely on the whole team. So.
Coach, you're the big guy down there, a guy that's kind of filling a new role, coming off the bench, now going to be one of those guys that's going to be an integral part. How have you watched his progression come so far?
From day one, it's like night and day, and both of these kids come from programs where they didn't win a lot, and they wasn't expected a lot from them. So this year, he's ready, he's hungry for it. Even last year, it's kind of heartbreaking for him because he really wasn't all the way ready, so this year he's proven to the team, proven to himself that he's going to be what he want to be successful.
What's been the biggest thing for you trying to make that next step forward in your progression?
Most of it was my attitude. I couldn't really focus on basketball on the court and in practice. But this year, I'm ready to focus and get on the court and put some big minutes on for Greenup.
Coach, let's talk about your schedule this year. Again, a team where you're the hunted, not so much the hunter anymore. How big has that been for what you're trying to take this program to the next step?
Yeah, like I said, we got a target on our back now. So practice are that much more intense. We're that much more focused with detail. So they're growing up a lot, and like I said last year, to be the best, you got to play the best. So we got a grueling schedule at the beginning, and we're going to embrace the challenge.
Casey, what's the one thing you want to see this season that you have to do to make your team get to that next step?
Score at a higher pace, score over 15 points a game.
Bradley, for you, what's something that you physically want to do to be able to make this team make that next step?
I think just get the other guys coming out on defense a lot harder and making them play up with my level, and that would make us win a lot more.
Bryson, for you, something you personally need to do to take your game to the next level, to take this program to the next step?
I think personally I just need to be more of a leader on and off the court for all these guys.
Kevin, for you, what's something you've got to personally do to make this team get better?
I feel like I can communicate better on defense and offense and learn how to space the floor better and expand my game to the three ball.
Coach, what's your depth going to look like this season? Again, last year you had some players that you could rotate in and out. Do you have that same depth? You go as far down on the bench?
Well, we got some newbies. So it's going to be a challenge at the beginning. We're not that deep yet. I told them by January, we'll be able to say, yeah, we deep. So we're going to get a lot of in-game experience and making sure those guys are getting some out of all of those games up until January till it's time for that to get down to the district.
You get into January, you get into the 63rd district, and we always say 63rd is going to 63rd. You've got a gauntlet of a schedule every single night.
Yeah, it is. And we just got to be prepared for them. We know Raceland, Lewis, and Russell. They got their good coach. They coach very well, and I know they're going to bring everything to the table. And I know they got some chips on their shoulder from last season. You know what I mean? So we got to be prepared.
Guys, thank you so much for the time. Always a pleasure. Look forward to seeing you guys this year.
One thing I want to make sure we acknowledge our world champion cheerleaders here. They were a big inspiration and inspired us to take that next step. I mean, championship caliber. I mean, we got to give them something to cheer for.
Give them some love, Coach.
All right, ladies, we're gonna say, get up for Greenup. Whatever you want to say.
Back on the basketball preview show up in Flemingsburg with the Fleming County Panthers. I'll let Coach introduce his team, and we'll go from there.
Lucas Jolly, senior. Bradley Robinson, senior, Kane Roberts, senior, and Seth Hickerson, senior. These are our 4 seniors this year, and we're looking forward to great things from all 4 of them.
Great foundation that you have from last year. A good season as well. Again, you run into a tough one there in the regional semifinals with Ashland, but you had yourself in a position to make a run.
Yeah, absolutely. We had we had beaten them in the regular season here, and then we knew it was going to be a great game in the regional tournament. With a minute to go, it was a 2-point game. They executed a little bit better in those last 2 or 3 possessions, and then we had to start fouling. They made their free throws, and that was that. But they had a great team last year, and they'll be loaded again this year. So could very well be a similar scenario.
You look at your team, you return a large nucleus of what you had from last year. There's a couple of guys that's missing from that puzzle, but
Sure.
You've got some of these guys here that's going to fill the voids.
Yeah, we hope so, for sure. We're counting on them to do that if we want to have the same type of success. We lost a narrow game in the district championship. We felt like we should have won that game, but give a lot of credit to Rowan County. They took care of business on their home floor that night. But we feel like we can, achieve that again, hopefully win the district championship like we did in 2023. If we want to get back to the 2A state tournament like we did last year and make a run at the 16th region again, these 4 guys are going to be a huge part of that. So you mentioned a couple guys we're missing, Adam Hargett and Isaac Fry. We missed 3 other seniors too, Austin James and Logan Applegate and Brody Canard. So those guys were a huge part of our culture here and our success for my first 4 years. And we miss them dearly, but now it's time for some other people to step up, and these 4 kind of starts with them.
You talked about the 2A. How much have you seen that really benefit you guys, especially having that type of atmosphere, kind of in the middle third of the season before you get into when you start getting districts late?
I love it. I think it's a great opportunity for our school and our community and these kids to play for a championship. We were fortunate enough to have the sectional tournament here last year, and in the finals against Mason County, this place was packed. I mean, it was sold out. And then, of course, we won that, and we were able to go to Owensboro, play down in the Sports Center against some great opponents, LaRue County, and then Louisville DeSales, and then Lexington Catholic in the championship game. So it was a great experience for us. Our cheerleaders went, our band went, all our admin team went, all the families. We had a really good crowd down in Owensboro, even though it's 4 hours away. And I thought it was a great experience, and we look forward to playing it again this year.
Let's talk about your guys you've got here. A couple of these guys, there's teams around the region. They're probably excited to hear that the name seniors finally tacked behind their last names. But Seth and Lucas, I mean, they've just been a thorn in everybody's side, and you know what the expectations you're going to get from each and every night.
Sure. I mean, these guys have a lot of experience. They've played a lot of basketball. Kane has as well. Bradley has as well. So, these guys, it's their turn to take over and lead, not only by example, but lead vocally and how they conduct themselves in the practices, weight room, around the school, things like that. So and they do a great job of that. So they're a very fun group to coach, and we just got done with a good, hard 2-hour practice here. And, that's the way we go every day. That's the way we roll. So we're excited. We're ready. We're finally got everybody healthy and in practice. Everybody was here today. It's one of the first times all preseason because of illnesses and injury we've had everybody. So that excites me as a coach moving forward. We got a week and a half here before we get ready. We open up with East Carter. That won't be any. That won't be a walk in the, walk in the sun. That's a tough place to play over there. And Coach Brammer will have them ready. So we got to get ready ourselves.
Seth, let's talk about for you first off coming in. Obviously, the attention you're going to garnish from everybody out there, but for you, the season that you guys had last year, how much do you use that to build yourself up to take that next step forward this year?
Yeah, that loss, especially district championship and the Ashland game, I thought that built a lot into us 3, especially. Bradley just moved here, but those 2 losses were tough ones to swallow. But just hopefully we can use that to take into the district tournament, region tournament.
Lucas, for you, what's the biggest thing that you want to continue building upon the success you guys had from last season?
Just continue playing together. I feel like last year we had a really good chemistry, especially towards the end of the year. It just built over time. Hopefully we can just keep building on that all year. I mean, we got 2 new kids, Jake and Bradley, but they fit right in really.
Kane, what's the one thing that you build off of from last season?
Shooting the ball. We shot the ball really good. Playing together, play together really good. Teamwork, everything.
Bradley, they said you're the kind of the new guy to the puzzle. What's the biggest thing for you to try to get into this group and be able to gel together?
I'd say if we all just work together and find our shots, they fit right in.
Coach, you look at this collection of 4 seniors. You've got a lot of experience there. You've got a lot of different elements that everybody brings to the table. What's the thing that makes these 4 guys kind of build your foundation for what you want to do this year?
Well, I think it's their character first and foremost. They're all good young men. They conduct themselves the right way on and off the court. They work hard. You know, they've bought into the value of working hard. You know, every day for whatever it is, 90 minutes, 2 hours, however long the practice is. If we're in the weight room, let's work hard in there. They've really established and led by example in terms of how we want to practice, how we want to play, the style of play we have. You know, and they go out and do that every day for a couple hours on a practice session, and then hopefully we can carry that over to the game. So they all bring different things to the table. They all all shoot the ball really well in practice. Now we got to carry that over to the games. You know, they light it up. You know, they just lit it up today for 2 hours. So we need to carry that over to our next scrimmage and after those first couple games, because we got East on the road, Greenup on the road, back-to-back nights, first week of the season. So that won't be easy. We got to get ready for that. So, but you know, their ball handling, their experience. I think experience is probably the greatest thing, because these guys have all played a ton of basketball games, over 100, all of them, on the varsity level. And I think that experience and that willingness to play together, they're all very unselfish, make the extra pass, that sort of thing. They'll pass up a good shot if they can get a teammate a better shot. So all those things combined, but especially the experience, I think will bode well for us, hopefully, as we matriculate through the season.
When you've got guys like Lucas and Seth, that they're going to draw everybody's best every single night, but they can play off of each other to get all these other guys like Bradley, like Kane together. That's going to get them involved. How much does that help you guys better what you want to do?
Oh, it's crucial. I mean, their willingness to get, you know, they all understand the concepts by which we want to play. You know, we have a lot of plays, but more so than that, it's okay, this is our action, this is our concept, but within that play, just play. And they're more than willing to, and they understand by driving and making the extra pass, things like that, they're not only creating shots for themselves, but they're creating shots for possibly 2, maybe even 3 other teammates, depending on how the defense reacts to that action. So they understand that, and they understand where the looks are, whether it's strong side or backside, and they do a great job of that. So I think, you know, as long as we're shooting a decent percentage, you know, which unfortunately we didn't do in our first scrimmage, we need to continue that in our next scrimmage and then on into the regular season. If we shoot a decent percentage with the way these guys play and figure out, we got to do a little bit better job on the glass too. If we can, you know, no rebounds, no route. That's kind of our saying. So if we can figure out how to rebound a little bit better as we get through this preseason and shoot a little bit higher percentage, I really like our team.
Lucas, whenever you can find a way to get everybody else involved, how much more do you find that opens up what you want to be able to do offensively?
Well, I mean, last year with Adam and Seth, I would drive and their man would help, and then it's just kick, they would hit the shot, and then it just next play they would just stay with the task of Seth or Adam, just lay it in. It's just, you got to make the right read. It makes it a whole lot easier on me.
Seth, for you, having guys available to make shots because of the extra pressure that you're going to draw, being patient, is that something in your game this year, especially that you learned a lot from last year, of being patient, letting the game come to you, and then attacking when you have those opportunities?
Yeah, I don't like forcing. I'd rather pass the ball anyways. I'd rather get a shot for my teammate than get a shot for myself. But if I'm open, I'm going to take the shot.
Bradley, for you and Kane, being open options for the offense to allow these guys, if people are trying to double off or trying to help off of them, being another scoring threat, how much do you see that helping your game? I'll start right here, to get these guys those open shots that they need.
I think Lucas and Seth are really good players, and you know, you just got to make the right reads, like Lucas said. If I'm driving and they help and kick it, if not, lay it in.
It's going to help us a lot. We're going to win games. You know, just knock them down.
Coach, you talked a little bit about your schedule. East and Greenup right out of the gate. You've got the 2A, everything. What else do you got a tough district, obviously. Rowan County, Bath County, and Menifee. And again, there's no night that you can take off anywhere through there, no matter who it is.
I agree. I think we have the most, this is my 5th year here, and I think by far all 4 years so far. And I think again this year we have the most balanced district and toughest district top to bottom, because any night, any one of us can beat the other 3. You know, and Menifee still has Ricker, Bath still has Bashir. They've graduated a lot of guys, good guys too, but those guys could play for anybody, not only in our district, but anybody in the region. Then of course, Rowan County, Coach Thacker always has those guys ready to go, and they're a tough out. They just are. I think they've made the region tournament like they've only missed it once in 25 years or something. So, you almost have to say they're in. So you better make sure that you can beat Bath and Menifee, or you're going to struggle to get out of this district as well.
Guys, best of luck this season. Greatly appreciate the time. Coach, always a pleasure.
All right, thank you. Appreciate you.
We'll step out for a break. We'll continue our coverage here on the Basketball Preview Show on Kool TV.
At Papa John's, get an extra large New York style one-topping pizza for only $10.99. Hand stretch, mouth watering, get that ooey gooey cheese. 8 extra large slices, hold it and fold it. It's an extra large, bigger is better, more for your money New York style pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza, better get you some cheesy, saucy, tossy Papa John's. Get an extra large New York style one-topping pizza for only $10.99. Papa John's.
At First National Bank, we strive to make every person that walks through our doors feel like family. Because to us, you are. For over 120 years, we have lived in and served the families of Kentucky with genuine care through the good times and the bad. Come and see the difference banking with family can truly make for you at any of our 7 locations, or visit our website at www.fnbgrayson.com. First National Bank, member FDIC.
If you can picture yourself in a better job and a better life, there are thousands of openings in Kentucky right now. And with the Work Ready Kentucky Scholarship, you can prepare for many of them tuition-free. Good at Ashland Community and Technical College. This scholarship offers 100% free tuition for classes that can prepare you for a great job in healthcare, advanced manufacturing, and more in as little as 13 weeks. Get started today at workreadykentucky.com.
Looking for the latest archery gear? Check out Border Sporting Goods for your best selection of Hoyt and Matthews bows, as well as 10-point crossbows with a full selection of accessories for all your hunting needs. Borders also offers a full selection of shotguns and rifles with plenty of ammunition and reload supplies, along with a full selection of benchmark and case knives. Borders is your headquarters for the largest selection of Liberty gun safes in the area, no matter how big or small you need to keep your firearms safe. Before your next hunting excursion, stop by and stock up at Border Sporting Goods, US 60 West in Ashland. Back on the Basketball Preview Show up in Vanceburg with Lewis County Basketball. Start with Coach Tackett down here. Let him introduce his guys.
Right here we've got Drew Noble, 6'5" senior. In the middle we've got Julian Puente, he's a 6'1" junior. And on the end we got Kyron Ferguson, a 6'2" senior as well.
Coach, to talk about your season last year. Again, kind of an up and down season, trying to figure a lot of things out. But anytime you're playing in a 63rd, we say this all the time, that when you get to tournament time, 63rd is going to 63rd.
Absolutely. Year in, year out, it's the toughest district in the region. And, the way you described our season last year is spot on. Julian was seeing his first significant action at guard last year as a sophomore, and he started, I think, about every game. Kyron had taken the year off, and basically he was, returning as well with limited experience. So we took some lumps. Decision making and turnovers were a big issue for us last year, but we had a great summer. The best summer we've had since I've been here, and the work ethic so far has been fantastic, and we're really looking forward to competing this season.
You look at seasons like last year, and those seasons you take lumps to get that experience. How much do you feel like that game time experience is going to benefit all 3 of these guys this year?
Well, I noticed a major difference in the summer, and I know the summer's the summer, but we've had some pretty bad summers since I've been here, and this past year I saw a lot of growth. And Drew's probably as experienced as anybody in the region. He's been in the rotation for 5 years. He's playing 14 to 16 minutes as an 8th grader. I think Kyron probably started 14 games or more as a freshman, and took that year off and then came back. So I can tell the difference, for instance, in Kyron now than I did have at any point in his career. He's playing with confidence. He understands what we're looking for, and I can say the same for Julian. Julian has a better understanding of how to play within a framework than he has in the past, and some of the stuff that we're running, he's taken to it. He's kind of our emotional leader, and these guys they're putting in the work they have since June.
Do you feel like with Julian being your point guard, has the game slowed down for him? Because there was times last year he looked like he was on roller skates. He was trying to figure out what was going on, but you could kind of really see things toward the end of the year start to slow down, and he got into himself.
Absolutely. His understanding, especially in pick and roll, became very obvious. We put him in a lot of middle ball screens last year, and he made a lot of right decisions. He shoots the ball extremely well. Nobody's worked harder than him. He's been in the gym at 6 o'clock on the machine shooting. He's a gym rat. And, this summer, again, I hate to keep referring to the summer because the summer's the summer and, a lot of X factors there. But you were talking about the game slowing down for him, and that's a perfect way to describe it. I thought he saw a lot more than just the ball screen, for instance.
Julian, for you, did you feel like that as the game went along through last season that everything that was going so quick at the beginning of the season, it really kind of slowed down? You could see everything on the floor.
Most definitely. It definitely did. It was like at the first of the season, I was always sped up. My mind was sped up. Towards the end, it came to me. Everything started to slow down a little bit. And now it's really slowed down. The game is a lot easier for me.
Is it allowing you to see those passing lanes, those attack lanes, to where you can get downhill, kick and drive, and to where you can really get everybody going in the offense?
Yes, sir. And that's things we've been working on in practice a lot. That's our main focus. We over me, getting everybody involved.
Coach, you talk about this guy sitting here beside you. I'm pretty sure he's been riding the bus over from the elementary school. He's been here for so long. He's been here for a while, and it's hard to say a senior now, but this guy's been a contributor since 8th grade.
No, for sure. And he's in love with the game, and always has been. And he's Sam Holder, one of my assistants, calls him a donkey, and that means he's just a hoss in the post, And I've talked to some of my coaching friends around, and they're like, "God, I'm glad Noble's gone." And I said, "Sorry, brother, you got one more unit." Because he has been, he has played 4 years, and they were just assuming he was a freshman when he started, but he was an 8th grader, and so he gives us a post presence that not many teams in this region have. And we've explained to Julian and Kyron and the rest of the guys that having this guy in the middle, he's going to require a double most nights, which makes their job a lot easier.
Drew, for you, understanding the game of you're going to work through a lot of double teams, but again, your presence in the post. Double team still with a lot of teams is still not going to be able to slow you down. Understanding the right touches and the proper touches for you down low, how big is that going to be this year?
Oh, it's going to be huge. I'm just going to make sure I slow down and see when I can get a shot or when I need to pass it out, get the other guys involved more so we can get open 3 or drive back and just get things refocused and just better looks.
A lot of times you'll see guys on the post, they think if they touch it there, they have to shoot it there, but getting it there, giving it up, getting it back, how big has that been something that you guys have worked on this year?
That's probably the most important thing is just getting it. You can't rush it. You rush it, you can take a bad shot, and then you have to play defense, but you just slow down, see where the double teams come and pass it out, and then just repost and get it open 3 or another touchdown low. Makes things a lot easier.
Scott, how big has this guy been coming back in, just bringing you just another athlete on the floor?
Kyron has been huge for us, and I'll tell you why. It's because when he came back last year, he struggled with his shot a little bit. He was still our best percentage shooter from 3 last year. But this dude can guard 1 through 5. I've seen him squat 500 pounds. And he gets the best guy every night. He contributes whether he's scoring or not because he's going to guard the best guy every night, and he embraces that and looks forward to it, actually. He actively advocates to guard the best guy. It doesn't matter the size. It could be a 5'6" point guard or a 6'4" forward or whatever. He wants to guard that guy. And he's also put in a lot of time, and I have as much confidence in him shooting the basketball right now as anybody that I've coached. His mechanics, we tweaked his mechanics. He's got the ball up in the air a little more arch. And every time he shoots it, I think it's going in now. So he shoots. He's also a great leader.
Kyron, for you, setting the tone from the defensive side of things, how big has that been for your game to get your offense going?
Yeah, well, I just feel like it's more than just my game. It's more of getting the guys sitting next to me, the guys in the locker room, getting everybody to buy in on the defense side will really help our whole team as an offense. Coach Hackett preaches that, defense is one of your best offenses to get in transition and go score buckets for whoever it is. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be me specifically.
You look at with Drew down on the post, and you're a guy that, like Coach said, you can be on the wing, you can go down low and work, but when you see double teams on him, getting a chance to get down the post, how big is that going to be?
If the right matchup calls and it calls for me to be in the post and score, obviously that's a great opportunity, but if he's drawing double teams and I'm open on the wing, I'm relocating to try to find a shot for him or get it back to him for him to score. It's just a machine. We're all rotating together and then just trying to get the best look.
Julian, for you, having those options to where you've got so many different directions to go before you think about the dribble drop penetration, how much for you has that been a process of trying to make certain that the ball gets to the correct spot?
It's been a pretty good process, and last year I struggled with that a lot, and now I've gotten a lot better at it, finding the open teammate, finding where the ball needs to go.
Coach, you saw that a lot, and you talked about the turnovers early. It was a lot of times balls were trying to get forced into places instead of getting that next pass to get into the correct spot. How much have you seen that kind of pull away to where that correct pass makes the open look come about?
A lot. We've seen that a lot. We've talked about that. We film study. We talked about that. And, part of it's just a maturation process. Julian, Kyron, Drew, they all, not only are they good basketball players, they watch basketball. They understand the game. Sometimes they don't understand what the team needs at a certain point. But I think that I've seen growth in that area. Again, he's a gym rat. He's going to have the ball in his hands a lot, but we're going to also have him off the ball some when we have Connor Jericho in the game, so, for instance. So we've been moving Julian around a little bit, trying to make it hard for teams to find him, to be able to guard him. But we've gone to a little more of a motion look this year to get away from so many ball screens because they were doubling ball screens when Julian had the ball in his hands. And so we've gone to a little more of a motion look, which makes it a whole lot harder to guard. And we like what we've seen so far.
You look at from last year, the team that you had to this year, probably the clear-cut favorite, I would say, in the 63rd. Do you see the pressure that's there and the ability with a team that is a lot of experience at returns of being able to step to that position and accept that responsibility?
Physically and athletically, I think we match up with about anybody. I think I've got 4, maybe 5 kids that are between 6'2" and 6'5". Our approach has been great. I'll have to see how we respond to adversity at times. But as far as being a favorite, we don't think of it that way. We're hungry. These guys are anxious to build to win a 63rd district championship if that's in the cards, and to get to Moorhead and try to compete for a regional championship again. I will say that I think 1 through 8, this is probably the most talented team I've had since I've been here. And I think if we continue to play together, as Julian said, we over me, and do the right things and be hard-nosed defensively, I think we've got an excellent chance. These guys see the stuff on Twitter and the cat's paws that has a 6th, 7th, and 8th. They see that. I think they think that we're better than that. I think we're better than that, but we still got to go play.
Drew, for you, what's the one thing this year that you want to accomplish, not so much for you, but for the betterment of the team to get you guys to that position of where you want to get to?
I think first the goal is just to be over 500. It's been a couple years, so we reached there. We just keep pushing. We get to districts, we win those 2 games. Then we go on to region. We just have to keep looking at the game in front of us and matching up and just trying to get the best games that we can possibly play.
Julian, for you?
Day by day. Take it day by day, game by game. Each matchup, just focus on that.
Kyron?
For me personally, I just want to be able to have more of a presence on the offensive side. I feel like at times I kind of shied away from certain opportunities and ball handling, getting to the rim. There's just a lot of stuff that I can get better with, so I'd say it's probably not.
Coach, your schedule, you've got some doozies coming up right out of the gate. You start with Boyd County, and you're going to find out what this team is and where you can go, but it's playing good opportunity or opportunities like that where you're going to have opponents that's going to expose your weaknesses, and you find those out in December.
Sure, and you mentioned the competition in the 63rd, so that's built in. That's built in 5 games, 6 games. And we've got Lexington Christian, we've got Spencer County, who went to the state tournament last year on the schedule, as well as a plethora of good teams. We've got Martin County coming in here, who's a favorite in the 15th. We've never shied away from good competition. I think we are uniquely built this year, especially physically, to compete with those teams. And I feel like if we can make a few jump shots along the way and not throw the ball into the stands, that we're going to be a problem for some folks.
Well, guys, best of luck this season. It's been a pleasure. Look forward to covering you guys, and we'll talk to you very soon.
Appreciate you, James. Thanks.
Back on the basketball preview show out at Raceland, joined with the Lady Rams. Coach Thomas, I'll let you introduce your girls, and then we'll get going from there.
All right, starting over here, we have Lexi Boggs, Brooke Campbell, and Naomi Maynard.
Coach, just talking about your season last year, you guys get a chance to go to the regional tournament. How big was that for the program as a whole?
That's really big for the program, you know, to set that expectation. I mean, that's what these girls understand. That's an expectation for us each season. That's something we should do.
You look at the 63rd district, and again, it's been controlled so long by Russell, but it's one of those things that you continue to build and build, and you can see that's the expectation of kind of the measuring stick of the district, but it's also a place that you feel like that you want to get to.
Absolutely, you know, wonderful program. Mandy does great things there. You can't take anything from them. They're competitive every year, you know, year in, year out, right? And there's no reason why we can't be competitive also.
What was the biggest thing you took away as a positive last year for your program, and what's some things that you feel like that you can build off of that to make you're able to take that next step this season?
Our competitiveness, right, and our togetherness, right? I think that our chemistry that grew last year and then continued through the summer, and what we're seeing right now is going to be evident.
You look at your players that you have returning this year, you got a lot of experience. It returns on the floor, starts with NIM. But what do you like about that cohesiveness that you've seen from your team that is going to be able to take you to that next step?
Everyone's carrying. They're carrying on offense. They're carrying on defense. They care if someone gets beat on the wing, they slide over and help. They care to make the extra pass. They care when someone hasn't had a shot in a while. All right, you can just see that chemistry on the court flow.
Nim, for you, last year you got to work more as a shooting guard. This year, back over to the point guard for a little bit at least. For you, what's the balance that you have to go with of working to be able to distribute the basketball, but also looking to find those points?
I mean, I just trust my teammates. It's hard to choose when to take the shot and when not to, but it's just knowing the game and knowing when to pass.
When you get in that position, the pass, do you feel like that the more you get your teammates involved, the more it opens up your scoring opportunities?
Definitely, because it's just multiple people will close in on me and then I just kick it, and especially trusting them to make that shot, it'll just open up more for me in the end.
Coach, you know teams are going to try to double on them. It's no secret, but having other people like Lexi, like Brooklyn, other players that's involved, gets her those abilities to get away from that double team and get other people involved.
Absolutely. I think that this summer in ball play, these girls and other girls have stepped up quite a bit and have proven they can hit those open shots and make those plays.
Lexi, for you last year, a lot of times coming off the bench, but when you come in, you were like that Energizer bunny. You had that spark. Is that kind of something you take up on yourself? If you want to bring that energy when you come to the floor?
Yeah. Since middle school, I think I've always been that kind of player, and I always want to be that player. I feel like it brings energy to the team when I do that, and I don't know, when we're down, it usually helps.
You set the tone defensively too. You really get after people. Is that something that you don't see a lot of people that they love the defensive side of the ball more than the offensive side? That kind of defines what you do, though.
Yeah. Well, defense, it sets the tone of the game. Like, if you can't play defense, you're not going to win a game.
Coach, when you see Lexi jump off the bench last year, there were so many times that you would send her straight after somebody to try to go speed them up, get them uncomfortable, and she was always very successful that very early in the game.
Absolutely. That's been her MO ever since I've been her coach from 4th grade on, right? That's something that she brings. It's something that she's confident in. And like she's saying, also in that coaching right there is, hey, you set the tone for the rest of everyone else. They see you after and they follow suit, right? And she fits that role perfectly.
Brooklyn, for you, again, you play a little bit of every position on the floor. Though you and I, we've talked about this a couple times this year already. How much has that helped you develop into the player that you're going to be this year?
Well, it's definitely hard because having to guard girls that are 4 to 5 inches taller than me is definitely a challenge. But our team has the advantage of speed. Like, we're really quick, and I think as long as we can run the floor and use speed to our advantage, that we can beat most teams and have that.
The physicality side of it, being down in it, how much has that been something you've had to learn to adapt to? Of maybe it's a little more physical than what you see when you're out on the wings?
Well, you definitely just have to hold your ground, and you can't let people just push you around underneath the basket, because if you do, then they're just either going to score on you or you're never going to be able to score under the basket. So. Coach,
when you look at what Brooklyn brings to the table, a player that you can work down in the post, but again, like she was talking about, has a lot of speed that most of your posts don't happen. That gives you a lot of elements that you can use with her that maybe most teams don't have.
It does. You know, I'm able to plug her 1 through 5 really. you know, the thing that I would add to Brooklyn's conversation right there, I think deep down inside she might like to fight a little bit, right? But she doesn't back down, is what I'm trying to say, right? And this summer in the weight room, she was one of those leaders in the weight room, right? So I'm really impressed right now.
How much, talking about the weight room, how much has that helped your team develop in making that next step forward?
I think the weight room this summer was crucial. What do you ladies think?
Definitely. I agree.
Yeah.
Speed, obviously that's the one thing that you feel like that you had the ability this year. Not having what would be your prototypical big that you guys have had, but being able to go 5 out and get the ball all over the floor. How much is that going to play into effect of what you guys are going to try to do offensively?
Absolutely. It's actually my style of offense. You know, I brought that from EKU, having an open post, right? And being able to penetrate and kick, get a lot of threes, and take your players to the hole. You know, that's the style that I prefer.
Nim, I know that's something that you're used to doing, playing downhill, that dribble penetration kick, but also getting to the rack and getting to the free throw line. How big is that?
It's so big, but I have a great leader, and he's been through all of it, so he helps me with, I'll come over and say, should I shoot more, should I drive more, and he's just been through it all, so he helps me all the time.
Coach, for someone like Nim, when she's asking that, again, you realize that's your scoring threat, but when she's worried about, am I shooting enough, am I not shooting enough, I mean, how much does that say about the team mentality that she brings to this?
It's huge. It's her humbleness, right? She's concerned about everyone else and distributing so much. You know, not only is she our leading scorer, she leads us in assists, she leads us in steals and deflections as well, right? So there's categories there, right? And that just speaks so highly of her.
Girls, when you look at the double teams that Nim pulls in, you getting that opportunity to work on the offensive side of the ball, and Lexi, I'll start with you. You get a couple of buckets to fall. Do you see that double team kind of maybe pull away from her a little bit because you start opening up another scoring threat?
Yeah, and that helps us score more. Like when they come to me, like if they come to me, I can just pass it to Nim and she can make that three.
Brooklyn, you're a player that you come up, provide a screen, that allows her to roll. But then when you roll to the basket, if the double team stays with her, it gives you an easy layup. How big is that for you of getting that opportunity to get something like that going to help her?
It's very big because a lot of our points come from screen and rolls because most people like to go over and double team Nim because they know that she can get to the rack no matter who's guarding her. So it's easy for her just to pass it over and then have a wide open layup with nobody guarding me.
Coach, you're familiar with being double teamed. You got double teamed a lot in your playing days. How much have you been able to relay those experiences to Nim to allow her to, one, like you said, be the same scoring threat you need to see her, but also that facilitator?
I think she's blossoming. You know, this summer we saw opportunities that, you know, her points were increasing and her shots were decreasing, right? Her shot percentage was up because they were good quality looks, but then the team distribution was up also, right? And she's been able to balance that, and there's some learning curves there. I know it gets frustrating at times, right? But man, she soaks it in like a sponge and just wrings it out, and it's nice. She's fluid.
Girls, I'll start with you, Nim. What's something personally you feel like that you need to bring to the table this year to help this team make that next step forward?
Leadership, definitely. I mean, I may not be the oldest one out there, but a lot of people look up to me, and I just have to show that you have to be a team bonding team or it just doesn't work.
Brooklyn?
I definitely feel like I need to run the floor and beat the post players down the floor so we can get those rim runs and have easy layups for easy scoring points.
Lexi?
I feel like I need to help more on defense and I don't know, run the floor to this, like to the wings and get that open shot.
Coach, let's talk about your schedule. But what do you like about what you see there in that month of December that gets you prepared when you guys dive into district play coming after the first of the year?
You know, a lot of people think I'm crazy right now for the month of December schedule. You know, I think that we might play two predicted to finish number one in the region teams. It's a good schedule. It's a good hard schedule, and I like to be tested early. I like to see our adversity early, right? So, you know, we're going to get them out a couple times for sure, right? But we're going to get back up.
How much does that allow you to see what your team is made of by taking those big punches that early on?
It's huge, right? It really, really brings out character, right? And it gives you what you need to work on so quick that then as you're working on it down the stretch of the district tournament, it's an easier work, right?
Well, Coach, ladies, thank you all so much. Best of luck this season. Look forward to covering you guys throughout the year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Back on the basketball preview show out in Raceland with Raceland boys basketball. Start with Coach. Let him introduce the players.
Hey, James, how you doing? We got Connor Thacker here as a senior and Charles Welch, a junior, with us.
Let's talk about season last year, Coach. Again, we kid about this all the time. 63rd is going to 63rd every single year.
Yes, sir.
But what do you like about what you saw from your team last year? What's some things that you hope to build off of this year coming in?
Yeah, I thought we hit our stride offensively last year. Defensively was a work in progress every day. It's something we've really focused on in this preseason. I think the guys will testify to that, but we've focused mainly on defense and trying to get better on that end of the floor.
Offensively last year, you had a couple of really good pieces. Some of those guys that you returned, but one of those guys gone, Christian Large, and he's a big piece of the puzzle you got to fill.
Yeah, Christian was great for us. Really developed himself into a good basketball player. He's at Alice Lloyd now, so we're proud of him. But we're excited to see who steps up and fills that role for us this year.
Connor was a kid that he was kind of your steady Eddie of doing a little bit of everything on both sides of the ball, but his defense led to his offense a lot of times.
Yeah, Connor was second leading scorer, and then he led us in rebounding, assists, blocks. So, he does a little bit of everything on the floor. And like you said, his defense, he'll block some shots and we can get it out and go in the fast break. And a really good shooter, shot at 37.5% from three. So a massive senior year is expected from him.
Charles, a guy that he kind of came to the scene whenever Sutton went down with a knee and kind of took a position to where you had a good position to have of trying to figure out who was on the floor at the same time.
Yeah, Charles did a great job filling in when we need him. His role's going to expand. He's going to play every minute that he physically can handle. So, we're really excited. He's developed his post game tremendously. On the defensive end, we saw what he could do last year. He blocks a lot of shots. So, we're really excited to have him in the lineup and looking forward to 2 years with him.
Connor, for you last year, what was the thing that you feel like that you developed your game to taking it to that next level that you're going to use it for your senior season?
Ball handling and seeing the floor real well. That's what I'm working on, at least. I've been trying to get quicker and all that in the off season, so hopefully it shows in the season.
Something last year you were a big knack with going to the glass, getting the rebounds. Is that something you kind of take personally in your game?
Yeah, I've always been good at driving the ball. I'm big. I don't really get manhandled a lot, so I try to do what I can down there.
Charles, when you got a guy like that he likes to go to the glass, how much does that help you out as well? Because, again, you know what you're going to be seeing, probably double teams a lot on the evening.
Yeah, it gives me a lot of experience against going to guys like his size. Definitely helps going against him during practice. He's real physical and definitely gives me a lot of experience.
How much did the experience that you got last year when Sutton was out, of getting that varsity moments, how much has that helped you kind of let the game slow down and get to where you feel like you're comfortable out on the floor?
It helped me a lot, tremendously. I'm able to just see where everything's at. Core vision's gotten a lot better, things like that. And it's been really good for me.
Coach, what's your biggest take that you've taken away from these two guys, summer ball, preseason, to where you see what they're going to be whenever they come into to this season?
Just their development in certain aspects. Like, we know what Connor Thacker can do. He's shown it all year. Last year, towards the end of the season, he was flirting with triple-doubles every night. But, he's developed his ball handling. That was something his freshman year. We put him on the freshman team, made him bring the ball up forward as a point guard. So we kind of had a vision for him, for the future, and that's kind of panning out right now. In regards to Charles, we know what Charles can do defensively. Charles has a great touch. He can shoot it. You'll see him step out and hit shots. I'm sure other teams will be like, we're going to let him. But he can hit it from out there. So we're really excited for him to show off his new offensive game this year.
Connor, having the ability to handle the basketball like you were talking about, how much does that develop your game to make you more to where defenses really have to look at everything that you're going to bring to the table?
I can do everything now. I can take the guy off dribble. I can set up. I can pass whenever. I think it'll be a pretty good season for us all.
Coach talks about, you shoot the ball well from the three. I don't know that you've ever found a three-pointer shot that you didn't think was a good shot. What is it, the confidence there? And again, how much do you have to have that shooter's going to shoot mentality whenever?
I think every shot's going to go in. That's what you got to think. I think every shot's going to go in. 50% of them probably fall.
Charles, for you, Coach, talk about you stepping out. How much does you stepping out open up that lane to where you can get to the rim?
Opens up a lot. I've been practicing on my shot for a while now, getting a lot of experience with that, and I think it's going to really help a lot.
Coach, your schedule, again, it's always a coin flip in December because this crazy thing called football around here.
Yeah.
You get some of your guys back after football season goes, and over the last 4 or 5 seasons, it's been early December because they're still playing football. But again, that first part of December, how much does that allow you to really develop depth for when you get some of those guys back, they're probably going to move into a starting role.
Yeah, I mean, we know what we have with some of those guys coming out from the football program, but every October 15th until, first Friday in December the last couple of years, there's guys that get 6 weeks of practice, and they get the chance to show us what they can do. One kid that's kind of stood out to us right now is Trey Douglas. It's kind of, I'll just say it, he was in my doghouse last year, but he's came in here and he's worked his tail off, and he's showed us that he could really play the point guard position. So we're really excited to see what he brings to the table this year. And he's just an example of what that extra time frame, with the football guys being out does for us. It's one of my big things. It's a great problem to have. It's a little bit of a problem because we don't get our guys on October 15th like other places, or maybe we don't get them in mid-November. But it's a great problem to have because other guys get to show you what they can do, and they get to work on their game and maybe play positions that they won't necessarily, would have played in the preseason if we had everybody there.
You get a chance to play the Derby Classic here at home this year. Not something that hasn't happened here for a few years, but you get several games under your belt before you get into January and when you start playing district basketball.
Oh yes, we're really glad to have the Derby back. Is one of the things that COVID really, it took a hit with COVID. There's so many tournaments out there now. It's really hard to get teams to commit. Especially for 3 days and you go overnight and things. So we're really excited to have it back. Really thankful for those teams that are coming in: Fairview, Holmes, and Eastridge. So really excited to have those guys in here and 3 good days of basketball in here in the Palace.
Connor, for you this year, what's something that you personally want to accomplish that's going to help this team take that next step forward?
Average 6 assists a game. I think if I average at least 5 assists, I think our defense will be fine, and our scoring's always been fine. And I think me driving will open up more lanes for other people.
Charles, for you, same question. Something personally that you're going to do this year that's going to make this team a better team?
I mean, rebounds and blocks have been really a staple that I've been working on. I think rebounds, obviously, and blocks, they're very important to the game. I think I can affect that positively.
Coach, for you, when you look at this team right now, where do you feel like your better part of the team is? Are you better defensively, better offensively, or still kind of a work in progress in both?
We're still a work in progress in both, and it's really hard to say where we're at because we've got multiple guys that are going to come in, and like you said, some may start, some may come off the bench. We got a lot of guys coming in that are going to help us. We got one kid coming in that, new kid coming in, 6'7", 275, and I've never seen him play basketball, but, the rumor is he's pretty good. So, we'll see. We honestly don't have a clue. But right now, I think we've worked mainly on defense, and I hope that when we start the season here on December 3rd, that's what carries us to some wins early before our offense really gets rolling.
Guys, best of luck this season. Always a pleasure. Look forward to covering you guys this year. We'll talk to you very soon as we kick things off in December.
Yes, sir. Thank you, James.
Thank you.
We'll step out for a break. We'll continue our coverage on the Basketball Preview Show on Kool TV.
Discover the convenience of Clark's Pump and Shop, your go-to local pit stop. Clark's proudly serves your neighborhood with new locations popping up just around the corner. Swing by today and indulge in a selection of your favorite snacks and drinks. We're committed to elevate your on-the-go taste experience. Clark's Pump and Shop is your premier destination for all things convenience and satisfaction. Stop by today at a Clark's Pump and Shop near you. Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Clay's Pharmacy in Catlettsburg offers more than your average pharmacy. In addition to prescriptions and vaccines, Clay's has bathroom and mobility aids and specialized diabetic care. They also accept most insurance, including Medicare and Medicaid. You can even fill your pet's prescriptions. Need to ship a package? Clay's Pharmacy in Catlettsburg has a UPS store right inside. The pharmacy is open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 to 2. Check them out on Facebook or online at clayspharmacy.com.
The Greenup County Public Library system is the best. Read the latest bestsellers in large print, regular print, or audio CDs. You can also check out movies or place a hold on a book on our website or call one of the library locations to place a hold. There are community meeting rooms available by reservation at all locations for clubs and organizations. And
financial security begins at home with home ownership. If you've been putting off looking for a home because you think you can't afford it, you owe it to yourself to check out Members Choice Credit Union. Members Choice Credit Union has programs for first-time home buyers and more to help put you in the home of your dreams. Call, click, or stop by Members Choice Credit Union today. That's Members Choice Credit Union, NMLS 411945, Equal Housing Lender. Other restrictions may apply.
Primary Plus is celebrating 40 years of its mission of quality, advanced, affordable health care. With over 11 primary care locations throughout the region, Primary Plus believes in our communities and our patients. The Primary Plus name means primary care plus so much more. Offering extended services such as women's health, pediatrics, dental, counseling, diabetes management, infusion services, and on-site pharmacy that offers free delivery. Primary Plus believes in connecting health care for you and your family and is always welcoming new patients. Learn more at primaryplus.net.
Back here at the basketball preview show in Moorhead, Kentucky, as we welcome in the Rowan County Vikings. We'll start first with the players to my right. We'll go across and we'll dig into it from here.
Gavin Myers.
Jason Ingles.
Coach Thacker.
Coach, let's talk about your season last year. Again, you come up a little short of obviously that ultimate goal, region championship. You play into the semifinals in a tough game against Boyd County, but really kind of got things back to that expectations of what you expect when you see Rowan County on the schedule.
Yeah, it was a great season last year. I felt like that team continued to grow and develop throughout the year. They were well connected as a group, which makes life a lot easier when the locker room is good and everybody's willing to accept roles. And in some cases, some kids were accepting less than they deserved, and that's tough. Sometimes as a player, it's tough as a coach when you can't give everybody everything that they really deserve, because we had some depth. We were senior heavy with last year's team, and I felt like we continued to grow and develop. We came back home from a Christmas tournament, and we looked at ourselves and said defensively we got to make some adjustments, and we came up with some adjustments, and we implemented those, and they bared a lot of fruit. There was too many people getting to the basket. We didn't have a lot of size around the basket, so we had to do some things to negate that. But I thought our adjustments defensively really bared fruit, and we also made some offensive adjustments and gave them kind of went into a little more freedom on the offensive end of the floor, and we just continued to grow and gain confidence, and it was a great season, and we had a couple of tough breaks in the game against Boyd in the semifinal game. Felt like a whistle or two our way, and we could have went on to the finals, and we felt like if we'd gotten there, we felt like we would have had a shot. We played Ashland at home in an overtime game, and felt like we kind of gave that one away a little bit, and we felt like that we would have been prepared to meet that challenge. So last year was a great season, and a great group of guys. I keep in touch with them, and some of them are off doing great things already in their post basketball lives.
You talk about the senior heavy team. How big was that to build a foundation for this group of kids that they were in the mix last year, but now they've got to kind of be the ones that set the table moving forward as you take on to the 24-25 season?
Well, we got of course these two pieces here with us, which J.A., we refer to him as Papaw, so he's been around a while. He's got the kids kind of nicknamed him that. He's been in the program for 5 years now, and this will be his 4th year as a starter. And this summer I think he embraced that leadership role that we're going to lean on him heavily for, and putting the ball back in his hands a little bit more, and doing those kind of things. So the experience that he brings to the table is a great place to start with it. Gavin just kept bringing stuff to the table last year. Defensively, he causes havoc. His brother was a really good lockdown defender. We're going to have to rely on him a little bit more this year to be that guy as well as cause the havoc that he causes. But he flies around and does a lot of great things. We had to learn to play without him this summer. He broke his wrist early in the summer basketball, so he's fully recovered from that, and having a great preseason, and looking forward to his light getting to shine as it goes. But these guys will be the ones that we'll lean on to give leadership to the other guys that didn't get as many varsity minutes last year, who were getting JV minutes. And in our roster, we're going to have several guys on our roster that didn't play last year, didn't play the last couple of years, figuring out how we get that to gel together with those guys. But we feel like we can be a heavy senior-laden team again, and
look forward to putting this puzzle together. We feel like we got some solid pieces defensively. I think we're better than we expected at this point. We'll get our football guys in this week, and we'll start putting this puzzle together.
Jay, for you, a guy, like Coach said, you've been around for a while. How much have you built off of that, again, from the 7th, 8th grade years and now going into your senior year? How much have you built off of that for what you need to see to be able to be successful and be that leader this team needs to see this year?
When I was young as a freshman, I saw Chase Alderman. He was in my position I am right now. Having a young team, you got to go through the growing pains with them and be understandable, because I was a freshman and I made those mistakes as well. But you got to help them walk through it all and just be calm with them.
How big was last year's the output that you guys did, 20-plus win season, kind of building that foundation for what you guys want to continue to build on this year?
Expectations, a hard one to live up to, but Coach Thacker, he's only, 19 wins from, or is it 13 wins from 500?
13.
13. He said you got to get to 13, so we're going to have to promise him them 13 wins. But last year's a big, high expectation to live up to. I mean, we lost a lot, but me and Gavin, I think we have the experience to bring back a team that's going to win 20-plus games and compete for a region.
Knowing that you're going to have the ball in your hand more, how does that suit you with the style of basketball that you like to play?
I like to play fast, and this young team that we're going to have to run and gun. So we're going to shoot it well. We're going to play some hard defense like last year. We had to adjust last year. Like, we weren't used to playing man last year, and some of these kids aren't used to it yet. But last 2-3 weeks, we've really bought into the defensive side of the ball, and it's really been fun.
Gavin, for you, how have you kind of settled into the program now and understanding now what your expectations are going to be this season?
I've loved it a lot since I've been here. It's a lot different than being down there at LCA, but I've just settled in, and we've gotten really used to playing man-to-man defense instead of 2-3 like they originally had.
How big of a change has that been going from zone to man-to-man? And again, like he said, really kind of speeding up the pace of the game.
It's a lot different. We get to play a lot faster than slowing it down, so I like it a lot more.
Jay, for you, the man-to-man defense is something that, again, we always kidded Coach. I said he was always like the Jim Boeheim of Syracuse. You know, you're going to play 2-3, and he walks in, he starts playing man. And it's like, what is this? Where did this come from? But how much does that free things up for the way you guys want to go?
It's just like we're running with our heads cut off. It's fun. We're doubling ball screens. We're making them not use it, and it's free. Like, we're causing havoc. Like Boyd and Ashland, they're going to cause havoc. So we had to adjust and compete with them. You have to play like them.
Coach, I remember last year you texted me and you said, we're going to look a little different this year. You said, we're going to play some man. We're really going to get up at people. And I said, I don't know that I've ever seen you guys play man, but it was the ability to have the bodies, the depth on the bench as well, that you could run people at people and just continue to go off and not see that fall off.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when you got the depth, you got the ability to play that way. It leans itself toward that. And I got with my son Tyler on the staff, I got a little bit of that young blood, and he spent time with Coach Woods at MSU, so he brings a little bit of a fresh taste to the program as far as some of the things that we're doing now. Like right now defensively, we've kind of bought into the Tennessee Tech no middle drive. Making some adjustments from last year to this year because we will be a little bit bigger with some of the kids that we're going to bring back and have on the roster. So we're going to have some thicker, bigger, wider bodies. Offensively we'll have to adjust to that. I think that's the one thing we do here is we make adjustments based on what we have available to us. But we feel like we can still. We were kind of worried about our man going into the summer program, but we were committed to continuing to try to play it. And then this spring, and in the fall program, we've really concentrated on it and trying to implement the philosophies that we want to have with this team, especially with the bigger team. And the buy-in's been really good, and we feel like we can be one of those teams that cause a lot of problems on the defensive end, which can lead to some easy offense.
Jay, when he talks about a lot of new faces that's going to be in the program this year and that gel factor, how much for you is that going to be kind of the thing you have to lead by example because of getting everybody on the same page very quickly?
Last year we were in the same boat, had a lot of new faces, and we kind of just came together as a team and got together and did stuff together. So this year we'll have to do the same stuff and kind of have the same views. We have to win as a team, not as an individual.
Gavin, for you being one of those new guys last year, now second year of the program, how much does that allow you to kind of help those new guys coming in of getting their feet set quickly and being a part of the program?
We just got to lead as an example and help them with their mistakes, and we'll just be fine and good to go.
Coach, schedule this year, another formidable listed of opponents. EKC right out of the gate. You're going to make the trip down to Wayland this year as well. And then, of course, you look at your district. Again, Fleming County is still expected to be there toward the top of there. Bath County, a very formidable opponent, of course. And you guys, what do you like about what you see with how you got your schedule set up?
Don't forget Menifee County, Ricker.
Is he still there?
He's playing. He's Pat Paul too.
Yeah, these two guys, he and Jay have been there forever.
Yeah,
so
they've been playing against each other for a long time. Yeah, we got a tough schedule. You know, we open up with Mason County to start the season out. We go there. Seems like we always end up going there more than they come here. But we go to Mason County, and we got Lewis County on the road in the EKC, which they bring back a large part of their team. I feel like they're going to be one of the better teams in our region this year, and they'll be on that top shelf of teams that will be sitting there if anybody stubs their toe, ready to take advantage of it. But then, you know, after that, the next weekend, we got a road trip up to the mountains. We're going to go on Friday night and play Pike Central up at Pikeville and spend the night, get up the next morning and head to Floyd County and head to Wayland. You know, that'd be a little bit of a homecoming for me. I went to Garrett Elementary and went to Allen Central High School, which Wayland consolidated into back in the 70s when they made Allen Central High School. So first game I ever played was at Wayland as a sixth grader for the Garrett Black Devils. So looking forward to getting our kids up there. Our kids have been there a couple of times already, but to get to play a game is going to be special. We'll have our throwback uniforms, and you know, we're gonna, you know, it'll be a special time and be able to take them. If anybody out there, if you're a basketball junkie, you know anything about mountain basketball from the 16th region down to the 14th region, it's worth your drive up there. And if you need me to set that up, just call me. I'll get you in touch with Coach Fultz. He's the mayor of Wayland, but he kind of orchestrates everything for the Mountain Hall of Fame that they have up there, and it's worth your drive up there for a visit, I promise you. And you know, seating will be limited. They took the upstairs bleachers out to put all the the exhibits of all of mountain basketball, but you know, it's where King Kelly Coleman, the first ever Mr. Basketball, and was the former all-time state's leading scorer until Travis Perry broke his record a couple of years ago at the state tournament. But you know, we could have went last year, and Coach Moore said, "Now I can't play a bunch of games there, Coach, but if you want to play, I'll play you." But they won't bring his Perry kid here. I said, "Well, you let Travis come and play there. I think he deserves that opportunity since he broke Kelly's record." And I think they had a wonderful event up there. They take all the money from the gate and everything and reinvest it into the gym. And you know, right now they don't have locker rooms. The locker rooms were built onto the back of that gym back in the day, and you know, they had to take those down, but they're going to redo some locker facilities. And I think their vision is to kind of get it to where it's like Hoosiers and start playing multiple games up there during the season, where people can travel from all over and come up there and play. And there's a statue of King Kelly Coleman, the guy here in town. His name escapes me, but he does a lot of statues, and the statue was built here in Moorhead of King Kelly Coleman. Coach Hunter was his neighbor, and he took me down to his house and while it was getting started, so that was pretty neat. But you know, we're looking forward to that. We got our Stockyard Bank Challenge. I think we got 20-some teams coming to town, and then we get to go to Charleston, South Carolina. The boys and girls teams both do. So looking forward to that trip. And we get back into that 16th region grind. When we get back home, we got the 2A, and then we play you know, our district seed games, and you know, all the big players in the 16th region. So you know, another tough schedule. We're looking forward to it, and I think our kids will be up to it. December may be a little tough out of the gate, just kind of getting things going, but you know, I think by the time January rolls around, I think we'll have a pretty good basketball team.
Jay, to have an opportunity to go down in Wayland and play where King Kelly Coleman originated, how special of a moment is it going to be for you guys?
It's going to be pretty cool. I mean, we already played at Hoosiers, and that was pretty cool, but to play in the Kentucky State basketball history, and it's going to be like really like back in the day, mountain basketball was the thing. So to be able to experience that as a senior is going to be awesome.
Gavin, for you, having an opportunity to, there's so much history that lives in that building, getting a chance to be able to play on that floor, what's it going to be like?
It's going to be really, I don't even know the words to say, but it's going to be a cool experience, and we're going to love it. And we went there last year and saw it, and it will just be cool to actually play there this time.
Coach, certainly looking forward to this season. It's going to be a fun one for sure. It's hard to believe here we're already talking about basketball, but looking forward to this year.
Yeah. Appreciate your all's coverage and the things that you do, and look forward to working with you guys in the future here. I think there's some things in the plans that possibly may be able to do some things with you guys, and hopefully help our program and help build our brand of what we got here. The facilities here on campus, I don't know if you've seen the football.
It's pretty nice.
It's pretty sweet. So we keep building. We've got new banners in the gym. We've refaced it a little bit, and still looking at some things for in the gym. So we're excited about our facilities, and we're excited about our program, and we're going to continue to grow and develop around here, and keep working our way to the top of this region.
Look forward to it. Back on the basketball preview show here in Moorhead, we switch over to the ladies basketball team here. Coach Stokes and a couple players. Allow them to introduce themselves, and we get going here. So I'll start down here with Kelby.
Kelby Ford. Diamond Wills.
And Matt Stokes. Do not call her Willis, by the way, okay? What you talking about, Willis? Coach Stokes, let's talk about your team. You and I, we talked about, again, this year, a group of some familiar faces have been around the program, some new faces as well. Kind of one of those years that you're going to have to get probably into the month of January before you really figure out where you guys are.
Yeah, we've got a young group. We've got 3 upperclassmen that we expect to give us a lot of time. But then after that, it's kind of freshmen, sophomores, talking about possibly middle schoolers. But I like the way our practices have gone the last few weeks. I talked to the girls about it. I feel like from 7th grade up to our seniors, it's the hardest working group we've had. As a group, they've really pushed each other. Our practices have been great. But like you said, it's kind of it's going to take us a while to really get gelled and figure out what kind of team we are. I know you talked with the boys earlier about Coach Thacker switching to a lot of man-to-man. That's all I've ever really played was man. And this summer we worked on a lot of zone. So it's kind of something that we're looking to adjust with what we have and the speed we have. We're smaller than we were last year. It's hard to believe, but we're just a small, quick team. So we kind of want to throw some junk defenses at people and try to catch them off guard, because if you're getting a half-court set with teams and they've got some post players, then we might struggle with them throwing the ball in the post. So we got to take advantage of what we have, and getting these girls in the gym during fall workouts has been great. They've started to gel. I can tell they're gelling together, but once you get out on the floor against other teams, it's really going to help us out and see where we got to work on.
That's the most important thing you talk about is you play against the same people in the same color of jerseys. You finally get into those preseason scrimmages and you get a chance to look at something and see, okay, this is really working, this one isn't not. But is this a team that you feel like that if you have to totally scrap something and go back to the drawing board, that they can pick things up right then and move forward?
I do, and actually we totally scrapped our offense from the last 6 years. We've got a completely new offensive set game plan that we're going with. Last season, I felt like we had a pretty good season for everything that we lost, but I do feel like we could have done better, and I really blame myself for that, because our offensive efficiency wasn't very good. So that kind of told me, what we've been running the last 5 or 6 years is not going to work with this group. So we've revamped our offense. We've not gotten into it into a great detail. The first few sets we put in, they caught on quick. Actually quicker than I thought they would, and have ran it really well. So we're kind of going to, speed up that process a little bit more, and we want to get it to where they're running these different sets, but then we kind of turn them loose, and they understand, oh, I can make this cut, or I can look for a person here, and it just comes second nature to them. And so, changing our offense completely around has been a big deal, but they've caught on really well, and we like where we're going with it.
Diamond, for you, a very speedy player, how much do you like that speed option in the game of just allowing you guys to play free and really use that aspect of the game to go at your opponents?
Oh, I love it because it's so hard for people to keep up with it. And when you have a good duo, then it's just really easy to beat teams. And we are short and small, and other teams have bigger people and they can't get down the court.
The switch from man to zone, how much has that been different for you guys this year?
It's been different because we're just usually sticking to man, but now we got to switch. It'll be a hard thing to get into, but I think we'll be good.
Kelby, for you, what's the biggest thing that you take from last year to this year that you want to continue to move forward in your maturation of a team leader, but at the same time being already one of those primary scorers for this team?
Yeah, keep driving to the basket, shooting the ball, and then looking for the open, playing fast, getting up and down the court.
How much have you noticed the difference of the change of the speed of the game, the way you guys are trying to play this year?
Good. I mean, we're switching back to zone some, so I mean, we won't be able to read those, but we'll still be able to sit back and play some in zone.
How big has that communication been of understanding when you guys make that switch of getting everybody where they need to be, especially when you try to go out of man back into zone?
Yeah, making sure everybody knows, like switching back, making sure everyone knows who they're guarding and stuff, but make sure everybody's covering their zone part.
Diamond, when you talk about the switch, when Coach was talking about it, said really getting up into people, and made baskets are great times to jump up in people and get in the press. Is that what we see a lot out of you guys this year?
Yes, that's what you're going to see a lot out of us.
Coach,
they're not giving it away.
They're not giving
No,
it. I
people
mean,
do to us.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
When you have that opportunity, again, first thing I think back is some of the latter 20 teams of Mandy Lane and Russell. You know, their most devastating defense was their first bucket when they scored, because as soon as that did, you knew you were getting a diamond up top, and here they come.
And we bring up Russell quite a bit when we talk about the pressure that we want to put on you, and Ashland the last couple of years has been the same way. But you know, when you would make a basket, Russell's going to press. But I felt like their biggest advantage of when you missed a basket, there was somebody there. Like when we got a rebound, you couldn't just turn around and throw the ball at the floor and let's go. They put somebody on you as soon as you got that rebound. And that's kind of our mentality right now is if we want to put pressure on the ball, make or miss, as soon as it comes off the rim, if we don't have it in our hands, we've got somebody standing there putting some pressure on you. So you can't just turn and go up the floor anytime you want. We want to slow you down and then force you into a mistake because you feel that pressure coming and you don't want the basketball and you want to throw it, and our girls on the backside are reading that pass and going after it. So we've used that Russell Ashland mentality the last 3 weeks of kind of, hey, this is where we want to be. We want to put pressure on them right here, right now. Let's go after it. Make or miss. Let's pressure the basketball.
Diamond and Kelby, I'll ask you the same question in just a second. The dribble drive, how important is it in that offense that you guys want to do of finding those attack lanes, one, but forcing someone to help over to where you can kick out for that open shot?
Because it takes away that person and gets you on two people, or in that person's open for a shot.
Kelby, for you, getting that dribble drive and looking and finding those open people, how big does that allow you as a scorer, one, to get to the basket more effectively, but more importantly, get all of your teammates open as well?
Yeah, being able to drive and getting that person to help over and kick it out, get an open three or the open shot.
Coach, how much does that kind of build on what you're trying to do this year offensively, is the dribble drive kick out?
It's big. We've done a lot of drills with, we broke some drills down, and we just work on the drills, and then when we put them in our offensive sets and they start moving through, they've noticed, oh, we just did this drill. I can do this. Once I drive baseline, I know this person's open or that person's open. And it's you want it as second nature for them. So it's not something they're thinking about as they're driving. They already know I'm going to kick it here. And our offensive game plan is to be able to spread teams out. And especially with these two, give them an opportunity to attack the basket. When that help comes over, you've got somebody like a Cassie Perkins who has the green light to shoot it anytime it touches her hands and from anywhere on the floor. I think she pulled up from 6-7 feet behind the three-point line last week and hit a three, and they all just looked. I'm like, yeah, she's allowed to do that. You go right ahead. And we had a 3-on-1 fast break, and they kicked it out to her for a three, and she knocked it down. I'm like, yeah, that's why she's there. She's an amazing three-point shooter, and she's added to her drive game too. So that's going to help her even more and help these girls out even more when they know these teams can't just crowd her as a three-point shooter, because now she's got added that driving game to her aspect.
Looking at your schedule, we were talking about this before we came on, is you're going to be the Road Warriors for most of the season, only 9 home games this year. So how much does that effectively get you prepared for when you get into postseason, because you're not uncommon of playing away from home?
Yeah, I think it helps. Of course, I would play in every high school gym in the state of Kentucky just because I would love to see all the gyms. I don't know that the girls enjoy it a whole lot. They like to be at home playing in front of their home crowd. But the different tournaments you get in, kind of playing a part of how many home games you can play. And but I think last year, even though we struggled when it came to district tournament time, and it was down to the wire, our girls were calm and cool and collective, and I think a lot of it had to do with going and playing in tough road environments, playing in tough tournaments, and not losing your composure and being able to execute down the stretch, and I feel like it paid off for us come district tournament last year.
Diamond, how much do you lean on those younger players this year of making them understand what it's like to have to go to some of those volatile environments like a Boyd County and Ashland or Russell, but how much that's going to get them ready for what they see when it comes to postseason time?
It just gets them ready for whenever they come up and play more, that they have to get used to playing in different environments.
Kelby, for you, do you thrive off of when you go to some other place and they're really rowdy, and does it get you kind of amped up a little bit more as a player?
Kind of, but not really. I mean, I stay locked in and just keep playing.
Good deal. Coach, you got them prepped, man. I mean, it's like this is Coach Speak 101 right over here.
This is. They're not giving any secrets away. So, when all these coaches are watching, they're just going to be like, well, we don't know anything about Rowan County, and that's the way we want to keep
That's it.
We've had some good practices, and, these girls they've worked hard. These two have worked really hard. They are 2 leading scorers from last year. So we had some high expectations for them. We talked about before, we have a young group, but they're not inexperienced. So I'm not letting them rest on we're a young group of kids. And, Kelby's just a freshman, but she played all last year. So her being able to say, I'm still young, you are, but you're not inexperienced. So we've got some high expectations for our group this year, and I expect these two to really hold everybody accountable when we're in practices and in games, and make sure we're getting to the right spots and everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, not only on the court but off the court as well, and how they conduct themselves in school and the classrooms and things like that.
Well, ladies, best of luck this season on your all's adventures. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more out of you once this season gets going. We don't talk about it right now, though. Coach, best of luck. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
We'll step out for a break. We'll come back. We'll continue our coverage. This is the Basketball Preview Show on Kool TV.
At Papa John's, get an extra large New York style one-topping pizza for only $10.99. Hand stretch, mouth watering, get that ooey gooey cheese. 8 extra large slices, hold it and fold it. It's an extra large, bigger is better, more for your money New York style pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza, better get you some cheesy, saucy, tossy Papa John's. Get an extra large New York style one-topping pizza for only $10.99. Papa John's.
At First National Bank, we strive to make every person that walks through our doors feel like family. Because to us, you are. For over 120 years, we have lived in and served the families of Kentucky with genuine care through the good times and the bad. Come and see the difference banking with family can truly make for you at any of our 7 locations, or visit our website at www.fnbgrayson.com. First National Bank, member FDIC.
If you can picture yourself in a better job and a better life, there are thousands of openings in Kentucky right now. And with the Work Ready Kentucky Scholarship, you can prepare for many of them tuition-free. Good at Ashland Community and Technical College. This scholarship offers 100% free tuition for classes that can prepare you for a great job in healthcare, advanced manufacturing, and more in as little as 13 weeks. Get started today at WorkReadyKentucky.com.
Looking for the latest archery gear? Check out Border Sporting Goods for your best selection of Hoyt and Matthews bows, as well as 10-point crossbows with a full selection of accessories for all your hunting needs. Borders also offers a full selection of shotguns and rifles with plenty of ammunition and reload supplies, along with a full selection of benchmark and case knives. Borders is your headquarters for the largest selection of Liberty gun safes in the area, no matter how big or small you need to keep your firearms safe. Before your next hunting excursion, stop by and stock up at Border Sporting Goods, US 60 West in Ashland. Back on the Basketball Preview Show out at Russell with the Lady Red Devils. Start first with Coach. Let her introduce her players, and we'll get going from there.
We have senior Bethany Allen and junior Kennedy Darnell.
Coach, let's talk about your season last year. What did you like about what you saw from your team, and what was something that you felt like that is going to be able to carry over for this season?
I really liked the way that our offense kind of came together, and I really feel like that we did really good of getting multiple kids involved. our defense, as you know, is what we always depend on. We're really hoping to carry that into this season and hope that it'll carry us this year as well.
The difference this year is, I don't know that you have what you would consider a true big, and it's something different. Is it a different look, Russell, that we see this year because of that, and the ability also that you can be kind of positionless players that's on the floor?
Yeah, we are going to get Cameron Fleming back, though. He'll be a junior who plays in the post from an ACL, and we look for her to, she has some really nice post moves to really beat and bang in there. And then we also have a 7th grader in Kinley Coons who will also, be good down there for us, and they can also play outside. So, I'd say completely positionless, but yeah, we'll definitely be playing a lot of 5 out.
Now with Bethany and Kennedy both, again, they've been around for so long. I kid it all the time. I said it feels like that Kennedy's been here for like 6 years, and I was like, wait a minute, she has.
Yeah.
But they give you that ability that you can play them in a guard, you can really play them in a swing role, and get them in all different places on the floor.
Absolutely. We probably will post both of them also, with just their length and athleticism. They would rather play outside, but we are going to look to Beth for interior defense and rebounding, and the same for Kennedy.
You start the chapter after Shaylin, after Bella. How big is that of now? Is it like, it's not starting over, but it's certainly a different chapter of the book?
It is. It's a different chapter, but we've been through many chapters, so this is my 16th year here. I'm really excited. I love this group. They work hard. They want to get better. We have some outstanding kids who have worked hard in the off season, and I know that they're ready to get started and leave their own legacy.
Bethany, for you, being a senior, what's the biggest thing for you that you want to kind of leave your legacy here in that final year?
I think that it would be best for me to leave a rebounding legacy. I think that that's probably one of my strongest suits in basketball, and I think that that could carry over well.
Kennedy, for you, again, you've been doing this since 7th grade. Has the game seemingly just kind of slowed down for you a lot of what you see now as a junior?
Definitely. I mean, especially coming as a 7th grader, it's so different from what I'm used to. So being able to have some experience, it becomes more natural.
Looking out on the floor now, being around Bella, being around Shay so long, those two not being on the floor, does it look different?
It definitely does, but I think it just takes adjusting, and I think this team will be able to do it.
Bethany, for you, you talk about those two players, I mean, big pieces in the leadership roles, and of course, you're replacing Hannah Sanders, that was that role player down low. For you, how much did you lean on what you saw from them last year, especially Hannah taking over that position down low?
I definitely leaned on them a lot. Hannah was always there to help if I had a question or anything. So I think that she has prepared me well to take over her spot, but I think it's definitely a big role to fill.
Mandy, I remember when Kennedy started back in 7th grade, and we used to kid who said she looked like she was a deer on ice, trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
But you have watched her year after year of the progression that she's made, and now as a junior, it looks like that she's been out there for just so comfortable with the basketball.
Absolutely. Had a wonderful regional tournament this summer. She's played super well, scoring at all 3 levels at practice, and she consistently works on her game, consistently improves, and I'm kind of sad. I only got 2 more years with a Darnell, and I've had them for like 12 years.
I was going to say, that's going to be different not having a Darnell through the program.
Yeah, they are great kids. I always tell her mom all the time she should just run a parenting thing, on how to parent. She's going to kill me now. But no, they're just exceptional kids on and off the court. And I'm really excited for her to have a breakout season where she has had to play behind Shay and Bella. And I think everyone's going to see, I think she's, best player in the region, or at least, top 2 or 3. And I'm excited to watch her.
You look at Bethany and the progression that she's made, and again, it's what you talk about, really kind of emulate off of what Hannah did last year. How much did you feel like that prepared her for this season?
I think it prepared well. We talk a lot about rim protection, getting hands up. She has a great vertical. She does awesome in track, and but I'm also excited to see her to come out offensively. She shoots it really well. She can drive it. She can get offensive rebounds. So I think she's really going to thrive. We're going to get her in some spots that she needs to be in, and I think you're going to really see her athleticism and really see her skill this year.
Again, we talk about the elephant in the room, the loss of your point guard and your 2, but you've got some really good players there that saw some stellar minutes last year, one of those being Gabby O'Born.
Yeah, we're excited for Gabby. She's currently injured. We have a few more weeks, I think, and but when she comes back, yeah, the way that she sets the tone defensively and the way that she can drive gaps in our offense and shoot the three and get to the basket, we're really excited for that to come.
Bethany, for you this season, what's the one goal that you put out there, not only just for you but for the team as a whole, to be able to be successful?
I definitely think that for us to be successful, we just need to work more on communicating. I think that we have great team chemistry on the offensive end, but we do need to work more with the communication on the defense, which we've been working on it every day, and we've gotten a lot better at it, but I'm looking forward to that part.
Kennedy, for you, that communication, again, a lot of new faces out on the floor. How big has that been of trying to pick up that role of communicator?
I mean, it's really good because I feel like all of our younger girls and everything, they want to learn. So it makes it a lot easier to just be able to like tell them, okay, you need to make sure you're calling the ball, make sure you're doing this, and they seem to really try, so it helps me a lot.
Mandy, it's no secret you press. That you get off the bus, you're going to press. How big has that been of trying to get everyone in those new roles of understanding? Again, the most important part of a press, you got to talk.
Yeah, you got to talk. Everybody's got to be involved. So we're continuing to work on getting people in spots that we need to go. As you know, our 12 has been really, really good to us, and we'll continue to use it and just continue to try to slow people down and continue to play the pace that we like.
Let's talk about your schedule. What do you like about how your schedule sets up to get you ready when you get into those district slates?
Well, I mean, it's manageable. So we have some games, you know, where we're not playing top 10 opponents. We're still playing quality opponents, but we're also going to get some games under our belt where we are playing some higher quality opponents that are going to challenge us. We're going to see some good guards, as we have some really good guards in our district, and I'm really just hoping that we can get our offense where it needs to be by mid-January.
You hear a lot of the chatter. Again, it's Ashland's to lose this year. I'm sure you've heard that kicked around, but when you look at the region of a whole, you've been around, as you said, going in your 16th year. Have you ever seen the region as a whole that is so tightly contested of what I think we see this year?
2019. It's a very replica of it. Sabina's senior year, and if you remember, that regional tournament was probably one of the best regional tournaments that there was. So it's very replica of that, and but right now, as I always tell you, we're worried about us. And it is definitely going to be competitive, though. And, you know, in the past, it's always been, most of the time, you weren't seeing a lot of upsets. And I don't think it'll be upsets this year. I think there'll be a lot of even balanced games that could go either way. And, yeah, we're all chasing them. So we'll see how it ends up.
Always a pleasure, Coach. Looking forward to games this year.
Thank you.
Back on the basketball preview show here on Kool TV, now out at Russell, joined with Russell Boys Basketball. Let's let them introduce themselves, and we can dive right into it. I'll start with you, Coach.
Coach Derek Cooksey. I'm Gabe Pridemore.
I'm Caleb Brimmer.
Coach, let's talk about your season last year. Again, anytime you're talking about the 63rd, it's always a gauntlet. Each and every night, we've talked about this every coach in it, they're always going to say, the 63rd is going to 63rd,
Yep.
and that's what you see each and every year.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret, I think, year in, year out, especially the time I've been here at Russell. 63rd District has been the most competitive, not to take away from the other districts, but it doesn't matter really what happens in the regular season. I mean, you're filling each other out. It's kind of like a prize fight, getting a feel for one another, and it comes down to matchups, but, you know, when you get to that 63rd District tournament, everybody talks about, obviously, everybody's competing for that first seed, but at the same time, if you go 1 through 4, you got some very intriguing matchups. So you just got to basically continue on. One thing about our programs here is, you know, we've had some success throughout the regular season. You got to basically use that kind of as experience and then move on from that and get the mentality for tournament basketball.
You look at across the 63rd as a whole, a lot of departures from graduation, and it really kind of opens things up again.
It does. I mean, you know, these two guys here beside of me, they basically got the starts last year, a lot of them. They got a lot of experience, and we're going to rely upon them early. But if you look across, you know, if you take every single opponent, some of them had some younger guys. They got a lot of returning back, but there were some key departures. We lost 4 very valuable seniors in our program. But I think that these guys understand that the, you know, the task as far as carrying that on, carrying on the tradition, taking the younger ones under their wings, so to speak, and continuing on with the expectations that we have in this program.
With Caleb starting at such a young age, as a 7th grader, then as an 8th grader, now making his way up, I mean, how much have you watched him continue his maturation of the game, but also watch the game slow down for him.
Yeah, I mean, I remember 7th grade year. I mean, he had been dominant every single year, and we really wanted to challenge him, and you don't ever know. I mean, we talk about that. I take the approach kind of like the classroom. If a kid's ready to basically be challenged, you got to do that with curriculum in the same way on the court or on any type of playing field. And, as a 7th grader, he came in, and he'll tell you, he'll be the first to tell you, he had a lot of really good senior leaders. Brady Bell and Griffin Downs really took him under their wing and basically kind of taught him how to basically get to compete and to contribute at the varsity level at such a young age. But you look back and he basically made an impact that season as well, and then just each year he's progressed. Primarily growing up, he was an inside player, and each and every year he's kind of worked on his game and his craft, and I feel like he's probably one of the best 3-level scorers and inside-out players, not only in our region but in the state.
Caleb, how big was it for you to have somebody like Brady Bell around you that, especially at a young age, trying to figure things out, being a 7th grader at the varsity level, of trying to figure out what you're supposed to be doing?
Brady showed me that a lot of it was work ethic. You gotta go out there and you gotta give it your all. And if you don't do that, you're not gonna get the results you want. And you don't get the results you want. That backfires on you, and it can mess with you sometimes, and then it can lead to underperforming more and stuff. And then Griffin took me under his wing the first day I got here. He told me, he was like, you can go put your shoes in my locker and stuff. And he offered to give me a ride home and all that. And then from that day on, those two were like my best friends. So they took me out to do things and stuff. So they showed me a lot of good values, how to be a good person and stuff like that. So.
Looking back now, that 7th grade year, how much has the game slowed down for you, especially from where you are at the moment, here being one of the main leaders of this team?
Slowed down a lot. Going from the post to the outside's been kind of a struggle for me, but I'm getting there slowly. You got to learn how to get low. Like I was used to being taller than everybody, so I didn't have to get low as much, and so getting low, maintaining my balance and stuff, and getting quicker is one of the hardest things about that. But I'm coming along, and it's making things a lot easier for me.
Coach, I remember the game last year, the first game of the season, EKC at West Carter. I texted you early today. I said, send me your starters. And you said, I got 4 of them.
Yeah.
And this guy here sitting next to you, he was not on the 5th. And you texted me later, and you said, I'm going to go with Gabe as my 5th. Yeah. He never left starting lineup after that. And he played so well that night, and he gave you a reason to leave him in that position.
I mean, he's earned it. He knows that, and I'm one of these coaches. I always want to, everybody wants to start. It's also looking at those matchups and the rotation you're trying to come up with. And, it's no secret. Gabe's a really, really good athlete, but he's worked exceptionally hard on his fundamentals and his skill set and his craft. He played a lot of wing for us last year. I thought, he was that guy that would basically bring the energy from the tip. We also had some energy guys off the bench, so to speak. But he really has embraced that. He'll be the first one to tell you that I was pretty hard on him from a defensive perspective because he's got all the physical intangibles to be a really good lockdown defender. And I think that you're going to see this year that Gabe and Caleb basically are going to take that on. So we really focused on that. We knew he could score the basketball. So at times he'd tell you, I was the first one to tell him, he seemed like sometimes he's so quick and athletic at a young age. He was one speed. Now he's really worked on his change of pace, and he's kind of, both these guys have taken on responsibility of primary ball handler. But at the same time, focus on that. A lot of times people worry about scoring and basically impacting that area, but they both have embraced the defensive end. They're kind of our defensive catalyst.
Gabe, go back to that first game last year against West Carter. What do you remember about that first night? You had such a great game in that one and just kind of started to fit in the mantra of what Coach wanted to see.
I was scared when I first got in there, just coming from a season. I didn't play a lot that year, but I just got on the floor. I wanted to find my niche kind of, help out the team in whatever way I could. I knew it wasn't going to be scoring, for the first few nights. Just playing defense and rebounding, getting the ball out to just getting other people involved and everything.
Flip the switch to this season. Now you're one of those guys that they're going to look at to be one of those primary scorers. How much difference does that make your game have to play this year?
It changes a lot. I got to play a role I've never really played before. Playing the one, just trying to get other people involved, like I said. And learning how to handle the ball under pressure in big games, especially like district games and everything. Getting him involved and our shooters.
You look at Caleb, you know there's going to be a lot of nights he's going to see some double teams. You're going to see a lot of junk defenses, and it's up to those other 4 guys on the floor to create that defense to have to come out of that? How much do you look at that and saying, I've got to be one of those guys to pull that defense off?
You know, I take initiative. It's, you know, kind of like just taking leadership and be able to pull the ball out and run a play, set something up for somebody else.
Caleb, for you, how much have the patience that you've learned over these seasons that you've worked to get to where you are right now of understanding, you know from the opening tip, you're probably going to see junk defenses to where maybe the game's not going to be right there at the beginning, but it's going to come if your teammates do their job?
I've learned that, you know, you take on a challenge. That's the only thing you can do, you know. When you get double teamed, it opens up things for your other teammates, and you know it can help other people score. So I'm all right with getting double teamed. I get the ball in the post or something, so I'm gonna kick it back out to someone, and they're gonna hit a three. So you know you just got to trust your teammates, and you know hope they do the right thing, make their shots and stuff. And I believe in my teammates. So
there's no bigger play in the game of basketball than the dunk. Being able to play above the rim, how much does that electrify what you guys can do on this offense this season, especially in a very tough district?
You know, a dunk is something that it leads to a lot of momentum. You know, a lot of time, if you're in the right position, it can force the other team to call a timeout, and it creates a lot of momentum for you. And when things are going bad, or you know things are going real good for you, you always get that momentum shift and it goes to your side. So that helps. That always helps a lot to have someone who can play above the rim and, you know, go up there and dunk one.
Coach, you've had three guys in your time here that's been able to play, Brady, Damon, and Caleb. And again, it's like he said, it's that momentum swing that it can take. I mean, you can take, especially in this gymnasium, it can just blow the top off the joint.
Oh, definitely. I mean, and I've been blessed. I've coached a lot of really good athletes, and especially my 3 years here as a head coach, I've been blessed with a lot of good athletes. You know, be the first to tell you, Gabe, you know, he's another guy that can get up really well, and I think people are going to see that this year. Tyler Cordial, I mean, he's another guy. We've got guys that can impact the game and kind of get those momentum shifts. But one thing I'm going to say is to touch on these guys. You can hear that they're talking about sharing the ball. I really believe even as early as it is, and we've still got some time here before the season starts, from day one with this group, I've started to notice that they're willing to sacrifice and give that ball up and trust in their teammates. You know, they'll be the first to tell you if Ryder Burgess is open, they're going to find him. Playing off of one another, having that trust. Shea Burnham's willing to do about anything and everything for the success of the team. So they've been a pleasure so far. You know, I've been really pleased, quite surprised in some ways because we're dealing with high school kids, and you know they're like anybody else. Everybody's looking at numbers, but they understand that if they trust in one another, they trust the process, and they basically don't worry about those things. In the long run, we're going to be a pretty successful team.
How much do you look at your defense, your December schedule that's going to set you up for when you get into district play coming up January?
I think we've got one of the toughest schedules in the region. We've really challenged. Last year we had a tough one. I mean, we didn't go into the season if you told us they were going to be 17-13. I knew that it was going to be a tall task, and that we had games where the matchup was right. I mean, when you're hitting shots, the matchup sometimes becomes right. They'll be the first ones to tell you that defensively I was pretty hard and stickler on things because that's the way I'm wired, and we have high expectations on that end. But there were certain nights that matchups just weren't there. I don't have to make excuses. This year, you can tell that we have worked tremendously hard in the weight room. When we finished up, I think we took a couple weeks off, and we were right back in the weight room. We haven't stopped. They've really embraced that. We have natural progression physically, but also through the weight room, through hard work and effort. And I think that people are going to notice that around here, that we've made that jump physically to try to put ourselves in contention as a region contender.
Well, guys, thank you so much for the time. Best of luck this season. Look forward to covering you guys down the road.
Thank you, James. Appreciate it, buddy.
We'll step out for a break. We come back. We'll continue our coverage here on the Basketball Preview Show on Kool TV.
Hello, everyone. I am Rick Clark. Let me introduce you to Carlisle, Annabelle, and Zach.
And as you can tell by these commercials, this family has a lot of fun.
We have a great team here at Clark's.
And we would love for you to join our family.
Whether you're a young person looking for your first job, someone who's looking for extra work, or maybe you're ready to start a career at a growing company, we want to talk to you. To find out more and start the process, go to myclarkspns.com.
Clark's Pump and Shop.
Return.
Refresh.
Refuel.
Clay's Pharmacy in Catlettsburg offers more than your average pharmacy. In addition to prescriptions and vaccines, Clay's has bathroom and mobility aids and specialized diabetic care. They also accept most insurance, including Medicare and Medicaid. You can even fill your pet's prescriptions. Need to ship a package? Clay's Pharmacy in Catlettsburg has a UPS store right inside. The pharmacy is open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 to 2. Check them out on Facebook or online at clayspharmacy.com.
The Greenup County Public Library system is the best. Read the latest bestsellers in large print, regular print, or audio CDs. You can also check out movies or place a hold on a book on our website or call one of the library locations to place a hold. There are community meeting rooms available by reservation at all locations for clubs and organizations. And be sure to check out the Jesse Stewart collection at the Greenup County branch. Check them out on Facebook and Twitter.
You know, financial security begins at home with home ownership. If you've been putting off looking for a home because you think you can't afford it, you owe it to yourself to check out Members Choice Credit Union. Members Choice Credit Union has programs for first-time home buyers and more to help put you in the home of your dreams. Call, click, or stop by Members Choice Credit Union today. That's Members Choice Credit Union, NMLS 411945, Equal Housing Lender. Other restrictions may apply.
Primary Plus is celebrating 40 years of its mission of quality, advanced, affordable health care. With over 11 primary care locations throughout the region, Primary Plus believes in our communities and our patients. The Primary Plus name means primary care plus so much more. Offering extended services such as women's health, pediatrics, dental, counseling, diabetes management, infusion services, and on-site pharmacy that offers free delivery. Primary Plus believes in connecting health care for you and your family and is always welcoming new patients. Learn more at primaryplus.net.
Back on the basketball preview show out at Olive Hill, we meet with the West Florida Lady Comets. Start first with Coach Conlon, or introduce her girls, and we'll go from there.
Yes, this is Bristol Boggs, and she is now a freshman. She started for us last year as an 8th grader, so we're super excited to have her now in the high school setting. We've got Holly Brown back. She tore her ACL last year, so she played just a few games last year, and so we're super excited for her to have her senior season with us. And we've got our 2 juniors, Sydney Cecil and Kinley Nolan. Both of them played some big minutes for us last year, so we're super excited that they can do this year too.
I know it's something last year you had a lot of unknowns because the injury bug bit you really hard. Having the varsity experience that you see from this group right here, how big is it going to be for this year?
We've talked about many times where we are starting this year is probably 10 times better than where we ended last year. And that comes with a year of experience. Their bodies grew a little bit. You know, we've got a starter last year that was an 8th grader. Her body grew a little bit. She's a little bit stronger. But the experience on the court will make us better in every aspect. Just walking out here, being able to put in a play, the concepts of basketball just flow too much easier because they played an entire year. So we're super excited to continue to build off that and have some of our injury bugs back this year.
What was something that you noticed about this group, the inexperience, but as you got toward the latter part of the season, how much progress did you see that this group had made?
So much. That was a big thing. We talked about it all the time. As a coaching staff, we talked about we wanted to be one of the most improved teams in the region, and I think that we were. I think that if you saw us at the beginning of the year and the end of the year, you saw some big improvement. But one big thing about this team last year and this year is they play so hard. Every day they came to practice ready to work really, really hard, and sometimes that's hard to do. But they came every single day, and they continue to come every single day, ready to play very, very hard.
What's the thing that you've seen in the off season, the preparation, especially going through summer ball, getting into the season getting restarted in about a week or so? What's the biggest thing you've seen for the growth of this team?
Understanding basketball, just understanding understanding each other, and I think that comes with playing with each other. Being able to play just a 5-out or a 4-out, that consists of playing basketball, experiencing each other, understanding each other's strengths and weaknesses, and these girls complement each other so well on the court. We have great shooters, we have drivers, we have people that love defense. So many ways that they complement each other, and they really hone in on that, and they encourage each other in that.
This young lady here missing out last season, how much have you seen the drive for her coming in as a senior to get back on the court?
Yes. Even the other day, we talked about the other night for a maroon and white night. She played so hard, and there was a point where she shot a layup, and she was still the first one back on the other end for defense. And just that kind of tenacity, come out here and play that hard to lead a team with that kind of effort is huge. But it was a difficult decision for Holly to come back, and we are super, super thankful that she is back, and we're excited to see how the season goes for her, and she'll have a really good year.
Holly, for you, what's been the big thing that you feel like you've made that right decision coming back playing basketball and getting that senior year?
The strength in my knee, it started to downgrade because I also play soccer, and the transition between soccer and basketball was really hard. It really took a toll on my physical health, and coming back has really improved that, and I'm really glad.
What's the thing that you missed about the game the most that made you have that itch, if I could get back on the court one more time?
the girls playing with the team. That's really it. Being around this atmosphere and everyone here, it's great.
Faith, the two ladies down there at the end, they bring a lot of experience back from last year, and again, that's where you try to build around. What did they bring to the table that is going to make you be able to continue that step forward?
Both of these girls play so hard, but more than anything, I think both of them have become such vocal leaders. On the court, at all times, you can hear them. Offensively and defensively, they're talking to their teammates. They're helping guide them now because they have that experience. They know what I'm asking them to do, and they know what they need to ask their teammates to do. That is huge for us, and that's huge for any team. If you can have communication on the court, it makes you so much better. So that is a huge thing that they've gotten better at.
Sydney, I'll start with you. How much did that experience last year, you guys kind of getting thrust into maybe having to play more of a leadership role than you expected to do, how much did that set you up for what you're going to be able to do this year?
I think that going into playing all these varsity minutes that we all were a little bit nervous at first, but it gave us the confidence this year that we all had, or that the whole team, that we could all just play together and we all could experience this all together, and me and Kinley could be the bigger leaders on this and teach the younger girls how to play the game of basketball.
Kinley, for you, how much did last season help you get to where you are right now?
I think last season helped us a lot. We learned how to play together more than anything, and all of us are back on the court together this year, so it's really going to improve us.
An 8th grader that got thrown into the starting 5 last year, kind of you didn't have much of a choice, but how much does that pay dividends this season?
Oh, absolutely. And not only that, but they're still worked really hard in the off season. So being an 8th grader to start and honestly play so well, because I think you can be scared as an 8th grader, or you can play really hard. And Bristol stepped into that role really well with the help of her teammates. I think that they took her in and accepted the fact that an 8th grader was going to start because it made us better. And so she went on throughout the off season. She has played ball all summer long, which has been awesome for her and for us. So we're super excited to have her for the next 4 years in that dedication.
Bristol, for you, has the game seemingly slowed down a little bit after last year when it just kind of seemed like everything was moving at 100 miles an hour?
Yeah, a little bit. It got really easier to slow the pace of the game pace down, and just kind of know where, just play the game, I guess. I don't know.
Faith, when you look at where you said you're starting right now, you're so much further ahead. How much for you has that allowed that playbook to start developing much quicker than, okay, let's just see if we can get 5 people on the floor in the right spots?
Yes. I don't know if I told this to the girls the other day or just the coaches. I brought in the list of last year's plays and what we already have in, and I think we knocked on number 5 of what we ended with last year. So the fact that we are starting with those, we might be able to actually do a lot more plays, kind of add a few more different looks. But just the fact that they understand it, you can now draw up something. Last year we would draw something up, and it's difficult, and that's a hard thing to learn, but I think last year helped us learn that. We grew, again, just in the concept of basketball, so this year just being able to add a little bit more.
Kinley, something like that, being in a guard position, going to the sideline, getting a play drawn up and having to go to the floor, executing that, it's a difficult thing. How much do you see that being able to be accomplished this season?
I think it'll be accomplished a lot more than it was last season, because we all know what we're doing and where we belong now.
Cindy, for you being able to look out and say, okay, hey, you're in the wrong spot, or you need to move here, or you need to go here, seeing what was last year, how much does that help you this year in getting that position to where you get everybody moving where they need to be?
I think that this year it'll be a lot better, and also me personally, I'm a post, I'm the bottom side of everything. I can see the entire floor. I can see if somebody's there's an overload on one side and there needs to be somebody moved over here, and then I can just communicate with our team and make sure that we're all ready to run the play correctly and get some points off of it.
Bristol, for you, knowing those plays from last year and being able to expand it, has it helped you a little bit of kind of understanding what she's talking about, being that vocal leader on the floor?
Yeah, it's helped a lot. Everybody knows their role and where to be, and I think everybody understands really well, and we can read each other.
Holly, being the senior, that vocal leadership is expected. Is that a role that you are ready to take on and help try to lead this Commerce team?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's been one of my best attributes throughout the years. I might not be able to help our team in other ways, but I always try to communicate and help.
Faith, let's talk about your schedule coming up. Again, you got a Christmas tournament that you guys are going to play in, and of course you get a district tournament time for the district seed games after Christmas. But what do you like about how your schedule sets up this season?
Well, honestly, we start off pretty tough. We start with Raceland. I think we play Russell the next week. We've got a lot of games that would challenge us early, which I think is great. I think we can see where we are. We can see that these girls haven't hurt so much. To go out and compete with these teams, I think will hopefully give us the confidence. Raceland and Russell both return a lot of great players. And then I think we play at Painful and have a few games away, and then we come home. I really like that we have so many home games at the beginning. I think that helps set the season up a little bit easier. And then, when we get started in district play, we have, I think, 10 or 11 games under our belt by then. So hopefully we'll get all those bumps, smoothed out a little bit.
You talk about the heavy front end of the schedule at home. How big is that for this group of trying to get everything back to where you need it to be?
Yeah, absolutely. I think sometimes the nerves are easier when it's at home. Sometimes they're harder. But I think just being able to play early and playing some tough competition truly helps. I think that if you play some easy teams, you don't get to work out some of those things that you struggle with. So we'll be able to address some of our weaknesses early and hopefully address those quickly.
Girls, I'm going to ask you the same question. I'll start first with Kinley. What's something personally that you want to accomplish this year that's going to make this team better?
I think scoring the ball more, because last year I was not much of a scorer. I didn't want to score. This year I do want to, and that'll just help us all as a team, because if I drive, then I can kick out to somebody else and set somebody else up for a shot as well.
Sydney?
I think boards are my biggest thing. I'm one of our bigger girls on the floor, so I think that I need to get in there and get some rebounds.
Holly, for you?
Just finding a place back in the team again, coming back from an injury and being able to work well with everyone and keep a flow of the game going.
Crystal?
I would also like to score more, but also be more active on defense and steals more of the defensive player.
Coach, what's that one thing on the marker board that you put up there that you want to see this team accomplish to get where you want to go? And obviously, let's get it back deep in the postseason.
One easy thing that we've talked about many times is layups. We got to hit layups this year. I need us to go home and not think that layups are what killed us. And we've done a fantastic job at that, and that comes with age. But the other thing is we have to play hard. We are not going to be bigger than anybody, but we better be the hardest working team on the court in order to compete.
Ladies, best of luck this season. Look forward to covering you guys this year. Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Back on the basketball preview show out in Olive Hill with West Carter Basketball. We'll start first down here with just the coach. Let him introduce the players, then we'll get going from there.
Hi, I'm Tanner Glancy, head JV coach at West Carter. This is Ethan Bledsoe, our senior Nick Parker, and senior Jacob Waddell.
We got Coach Glancy with us here. Coach Webb had some family issues. He was not able to be in attendance for this, so we've got Coach Glancy here. But Coach, let's talk about last season. Again, you get into the 62nd district every year. It's a gauntlet, no matter who you're playing, where you're playing, and it's no different any season year. But what do you like about what your team did last year? What's some things that you feel like you guys build on this year going forward?
I really felt like I liked the way we scrapped. I mean, we were just so confident in our ability to compete with anybody, no matter who we had on the floor that night. We all were ready to bring it. Just the competitiveness. That's what I loved about it the most, and we really get along well as a team. That's something that I've seen in years past, and not be going as well, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And having good teamwork and that determination will take you so far. We saw that, we bought into it, and I always respected that about those guys.
Getting an early outing there in the 62nd district tournament, how much does that put the fuel in the fire for that motivation to get things moving in the right direction this year?
Oh, 100%. I mean, you never want to get bounced first round, right? You're always looking to play for not only a district championship, but make a run in the region tournament. And it sucks whenever that isn't the case, because we lost 3 seniors. They were really great leaders. They set a great tone for us, and we wanted to see them go succeed and have a chance to end their career at Moorhead or up. And not having that happen, we definitely puts a chip on our shoulder for this season, and looking forward to showing what we got this year.
You look at these 3 guys here, they all bring a ton of experience back to you guys, and you're going to have to really lead through those guys for what they bring to the table this year.
Yes, 100%. And we're thankful for them to have had the attitude that they've had and the way that they have stuck with it. Because let's be honest, right? The first 3 seasons of their career didn't really go as planned, right? Had some tough battles, and it's not easy to get knocked down and get back up that many times, but they have showed it, and they come every day and work just as hard as they can, and it's we're lucky to have them.
Ethan, for you, how much motivation getting ousted in the first round last year in the district tournament does that put you going into this season?
It put us in a lot of motivation, hard work in the summer, and really led to how we're doing and how we're going to outcome this year.
Nick, for you?
Yeah, I'd say the same. I mean, you never want to get bounced first round no matter what, and especially to who we lost to. We don't like anybody in our district. We want to beat everybody. So,
Jacob,
the grit that we've had this preseason, I haven't seen it the 3 years I've played. I mean, I'm excited for this season to get started.
what's the biggest thing that you feel like you guys come into this season building off of last year that you feel like is going to help make you take that next step forward? I'll start Jacob here, right here.
Hold on. What was the
What's the thing you take away from last year that you're going to build on that helps you take that next step forward this year?
Okay. It's the determination we had, and we need to. Hold on. You all cut this, right?
No, this is live.
This is live. All right. Never mind. Okay. All right. So, the hard work. Last year, practices, we didn't always get the 100% we needed. This year, every single practice, the coaches giving us what we need, and the players, I mean, we're striving.
Nick, for you, what's the big thing you've seen?
you know, I think the past 3 years, everybody's looked at us as a defensive team. We're going to come and play as hard as we can. But I think this year, offensively, we've improved so much, and I think it's really going to show.
Ethan?
I think it's how explosive we've become. I think last year we really didn't have that explosiveness that we needed, and this year we're really going to bring it.
Coach, the injury bugs bit you guys pretty hard early in the season, but it's something that it's part of the game. You've got to kind of work through it, and next guy up mentality, and it's, again, those opportunities that you had for players that built some varsity experience last year really going to pay off big this year as well.
Yeah, it's that's the last thing you want to see, right? Is injuries, and like you said, it's part of the game. You can't plan for them; they just happen. And you know, we dealt with that some last year for sure, but not to the degree that it's already hit us this year. But we've, like you said, next man up mentality. And I'll say this: we've always been able to go, 7 or 8 guys, that we can rotate through. But this year, we've really took a next step. And I'll give credit to that freshman class that they were 8th graders last year, came up and played with us. Their development at the age they're at has been, they gave these guys a challenge every day in practice. So we're really confident that we can go 10 deep if needed, and that's nice to have. That's a luxury we don't get often. So we're going to have to take advantage of it and just roll with the punches.
Yeah, how big is that of having bodies that you can put out there to where you can go 5-on-5 and actually get some challenge for your varsity starters?
Oh, it's huge. It is. It makes the world of difference, and it's like they said, it's already shown. Jacob hinted on it earlier. These practices that we've had so far this season, I haven't seen that in 3 years, right? And that's no knock on what we've had in the past. It just shows the level of talent we're at now and the work we've put in to get there. It is a luxury, and it really helps motivate the older guys to stay on their game, and obviously they're motivating the younger guys to get better. It's a great relationship that we've got.
Guys, I'll start with Ethan right here. I'm going to ask you the same question. How big has that younger group helped you guys prepare and get yourselves ready to go for what you're going to see game time? Ethan?
Absolutely. They have some length in their group, and especially for me and Jacob, we're the big men this year, and it's put a lot of assurance that we're going to work better when we're up against taller people.
Nick?
Yeah, their development is truly crazy. They've improved so much from last year, and every single day, they put it on us, and it helps a lot.
Jacob?
Well, something the big men have is aggressiveness. They're 6'3", they're aggressive, they smack, they hit and foul, and the coaches don't call it, and that's going to help us in season time. When
yeah, you get 60-second district. You know what it is each night.
That's what I say every time. He doesn't like me not calling a foul.
That's right. Taylor, let's talk about the schedule. What do you look at the way the schedule sets up this year that's going to prepare you when you guys get on those wars that is the 62nd district seeding games?
Yeah, for sure. Right there, the first few games even, right? Lawrence County, when we went and played them recently, it's been a battle. Like the first game of the year, they're not even in our district, not even in our region, but it feels almost like a district game, especially when you're down there at their place. So it really helps set the tone right off the bat. And then we've got a lot of, Raceland is another team, for example. A bigger team, they're more physical, right, than a lot of opponents that we get on the schedule. Helps prepare us for that. And I'm really confident that the way we've got it set up this year, it's going to be a good balance of games that will show our weaknesses, right, but will also highlight our strengths, prepare us enough to correct those weaknesses and even improve more on our strengths when it comes to the 62nd district time.
Guys, I'm going to ask you the same question here as we wrap things up. What's one thing that you physically want to do to make the team better this year? Ethan, I'll start with you.
How aggressive we're going to be. I've hit on it that we're more aggressive than last year, but you can never be too aggressive. I think that's what wins most games for people is being aggressive and coming out and popping somebody in the mouth.
Nick?
I agree with Ethan completely. We just got to want it more than any other team, and I think we will.
Jacob?
Something that we had this year is a stamina. We run every day. I mean, when I run, I don't like it, but I know come season time, it's going to help us a lot. It's something we need.
Tanner, you hear that, the aggressiveness, the stamina, the depth of the bench, is that kind of a relation of the type of style you guys want to play this year? You really want to get things moving very quickly, defense into offense and scoring buckets that way?
Yes, 100%. I mean, we've honestly, I think these guys would agree, especially from their freshman year, we have really took a deep look at the offense and reinvented it this year. We're going to be doing stuff that we haven't done before at all. And it's really exciting. It's been fun this year. And credit to all the guys, they have adapted so well, right? They are really invested. They're bought into what we're doing. But yeah, we want to play fast this year. We are confident in our ability, ball skill-wise, shooting ability, that we can get up and down the floor and start playing with a quicker tempo. And that helps with our aggressive defensive nature anyway, right? Plays very well together, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, gentlemen, greatly appreciate the time. Best of luck this season. Look forward to covering you guys throughout the season. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching the 16th Region Basketball Preview Show on Kool TV. This broadcast of the 16th Region Basketball Preview Show has been a special sports presentation of the Kool Sports Network and Kool TV.